extra, extra. Yep. Uh-oh.
Bringing the people in real quick. I'm going to vibe out today. Today's going to be a good show. It's going to be really, really spicy and informative.
Stunting on us. I see you, Hannibal.
Oh, yes. Hannibal, I like the red one. Black Revolution.
You're going to make me camp out in front of Lids tomorrow.
Oh, you can't get this on Lids. You can only get this on my website.
Oh, I like that hat. I got to buy one.
There we go. I'm on my way.
I got a big head though, so I hope you got some size.
Oh.
How you doing, Juana?
I'm all right. Filling out. I'm looking at the vibe.
All right, Aaron Franks. Shout out to Aaron Franks. Hey, Sherelle. Shout out. Loverboy Lensky, we love you. Mayat, we love you. Chris, we love you. Peace to the garden. Empress Vibe, we love you. Come on. Luminous Body Essentials. That's Mrs. P and Ron P. We love y'all couples.
Salute
Come on.
them.
We got married couples in here, Juana.
Who's that?
We got Mrs. P and Ron P. We literally have married couples in this piece that are watching together.
Oh, great. Well, shout out to them. Best of luck to them in their marriage.
No.
Sherelle brought the whole NO with her.
Yeah, she brings the
I
village.
love Sherelle. I love her.
He from Chicago? He from Chicago?
Okay.
Hold on, help me out.
Shout out to you, Sherelle.
There go Carl. Yeah, he from Chicago.
We vibing out right now. We just relaxing.
Is he from Chicago?
Is he from Chicago? I don't know.
Oh, Carl Thomas? Yeah.
Oh, Carl Thomas. Yeah.
Damn.
Try not to sing on here, you know.
Yo, I love
So people won't be like,
I love Tawana.
she can't sing.
Our show, what up, baby? Troublemaker you. Oh, Cheryl. New Orleans. What's up, my love? Cheryl, you know it's all love. I love you for real. Come on.
Yeah, she's the shit, bro. She is.
Yo, she got me like 40 followers last night. Subscribers. Cheryl got me 40 subscribers last night. Literally. And the night before, she got me 50.
She amazing. She always supports, and she active, and she commenting, and she giving her views. I appreciate it.
And she's smart and she talk.
Yes, she is.
Oh, listen, last song. We're gonna chill out. We're gonna get back to the basics of this. We want everybody to bring everybody in. Big King, Big King, Big King, Big King. That's right. Shout out to my man, Big Bad Bullet. Hello. Jarrell, we wait on you, brother. We wait on you, brother. Terry, happy Thursday. Happy Thursday. He comes late. He comes like fashionably late. He comes fly. I love Jarrell.
He's fashionably late. He didn't give you the memo, you know.
You do a thing.
I like to do more time.
What's up? What's up? Bring some people in. Are we on 50 people now? How many likes we got? You know I'm not starting with no likes. I'll tell you that right now.
72.
72. I don't see on my shit.
Refresh the page.
All right.
Hannibal, I'm already on your page, Hannibal. I see you, big dog.
Yeah, get it while it's hot, cause I'm about to. I'm pitching for a full-time art teacher position out west here in the Chi. So if I get that job, I might close the store down. I don't know.
Oh, what?
I've been selling this merch for like about 8 years, and honestly, I'm not that great at business. So I'm really good at art and teaching, and but the business side of things, I couldn't. I ain't scaling nothing. So I'm telling you, like you get it this month, you'll probably get it next month. The site might not even exist. It's hard to say.
Yo, King, go to the page, man. You got some fly stuff, man.
Thank you, sir. More like it's a passion project that took off a little bit, and then but again, it's funny. I went to school for finance, but the actuality of running a business is totally different from sitting in
man.
the classroom.
That's why when we in the studio, we tend to the executives, the record executives or the label exec, we don't like them in the room, right? Because sometimes the business aspect kind of clouds the creative process, all of the legal minutia.
Oh yeah.
You in there vibing, and then somebody comes in with a bunch of split sheets.
So come on.
What I was saying when King was interrupting me was that I don't know Hannibal. Like, I don't know him. I never met him. So that's all I was saying, King. Like, I ain't signed his show, blah, blah, blah. Like, damn. He know I'm crazy.
Early.
Know I'm crazy.
Go.
Well, Tawana, hi, I'm Hannibal. Nice to meet
you. Nice to meet you as well. I said he's the only person on the panel that I know.
Come on. Come on, Hannibal. You listen to Rihanna, Hannibal. Come on.
Put some Herbie Hancock on.
Okay, I'm gonna put that on. I got you.
They're gonna shut your whole show down. Like,
you the same age, Hannibal. Come on. This is Rihanna.
I saw her in person. Oof.
Oh, word? She's beautiful.
It's a really good show. I'll say
that.
That's a bop, though. That's a bop right there.
You said what?
I said that's a bop. That song is.
I thought you called her a thought. I was like, no. I was like, the most you called
No. B.O.P. That's a bop. That beat is hard. That's all I was
say. No, I hear you. Now I hear you. I was like, I can't agree with that. Before I agree with it, I had
I'm a grandfather. I don't use that word.
Nice. You a grand
shirt on, man. I don't know what y'all doing.
Yeah, but you
Man.
got a $10 trillion calendar, E Black, or a camera, E Black. Your image is crystal clear, brother.
He can see the other side of Mars with that camera.
That camera got depth.
If y'all don't know Babyface, I don't know what to tell y'all.
You asked me if I know Babyface.
No, Babyface, I don't know what to tell you. Come on, watch this word. Get your drink, get your peppermint tea. Whatever you're doing, get something to drink on. It's gonna be a night to remember. Whoa. All right, here the move. See, that's what I'm talking about.
Hey, I know a good rhythm when I hear it.
This is for the cool. This is for the cool.
King, you say you used to substitute teach?
Yeah, I was an adjunct professor too at community college.
Yeah, I was subbing today. I had a 7th grader try to get hard with me.
Oh God!
He told me he was gonna smack me. I said, I wish you would. No, but I love the kids. I really hope I get this art teaching position because, you know, that I love being in the classroom with them. I love. I take it more serious than.
What do you think? What do you teach? What subject?
Oh, so it's gen eds because it's like, you know, 6 through 8 primarily.
Yo, shout out to Gilly. Shout out to Gilly Ken. Thank you so much for that donation. I appreciate you. Hello, we in the building. That's it. That's the type of stuff I like. We here for a reason. Everybody here.
Turn my camera off. Hold on, I'll be right back. Woo.
We here for a reason. We here for a reason. Come on.
Yo, if you didn't have this on a cassette that said, you know what I'm saying, slow jams or like or freaking,
you wasn't doing nothing without it, right?
Nothing.
Right, y'all make me want to. You doing all of this, man? You make me want to turn this thing off and go about my business.
Why you want us to see your
It's a community garden joke. I had to grab some honey buns. It's a honey bun type of night.
All right, where we at? How we looking? Where the lights at?
86 with 75 watching. Oh, they pulling up on it.
Talk to me. See, when Kevin Samuels does it to y'all give him $500. I need motherfucking a light.
He'll be mid-sentence. He'll be like, oh, hell nah. I got 15,000 of you. I need 7,500 likes.
If they shut this down, the next page is Transparency with King. Just to let you know, Transparency with King. If they shut this down, y'all know the rules. Shout out to our sponsors though. Ooh. Come on, shout out to our sponsors. The Ripple King, Ripple.co, please, 50% discount, put my name, The Ripple King, and you get 50% discount. I do not smoke weed, I do not smoke nicotine. 0 nicotine. It's like smoking tea, natural flavors. Chamomile, lavender, mango, that's what I do.
Also, don't smell like Newport.
Get to pick up my book, Love and Life Through the Eyes of Travel, through Kindle, Apple iBooks, and BookBaby, Amazon, please. TLA called it a pamphlet. But TLA doesn't, I don't know if TLA likes
And then he had to stop.
I love. Thank you, Terry. Wait, hold up, David Akuwobi. Thank you so much for that donation. Now I can pay my rent. That's too much. I have to send some back. That's too much, David. I don't need that much.
I said, so look. So I transfer the surplus to mine.
Oh, that's too much, David.
I want to lift that load. That's what friends are for. Got me on my DIY. That's what friends are for.
That's funny.
Chef, you ever read The Destruction of Black Civilization?
Ooh, talk about that for a little bit while I get this warmed up.
Well, so Professor Chancellor Williams wrote the Bible on African history. It's called The Destruction of Black Civilization. The book took so long to write that he went blind while he was writing it. He traveled to 16 or 17 different countries on the continent to gather primary, secondary data. And he also had translators in each country, and then he had translators for the translators to make sure that he was getting accurate translation. The only reason why I bring it up is because one of the things he talks about early on in the book is how diverse the continent really is. And I'm going to talk about that today.
Yes.
The diversity of Black people, the diversity of Latins as well, as it pertains to these conversations about race. Because all too often, we speak around race like we're a monolith, like we're a homogenous group, when there's no more diverse group of people on the planet.
Right. We all mixed up.
Yes.
All right, we're about to start the show real quick. I was just waiting for 100 likes because we deserve that. The lineup today is different. It's so different today. We got 100 likes. They came out for Wanda and Hannibal. This is their show today. Hello. And on the block, Jen, this is your show too. We wait on you, Mia Moore. Please come through.
I told y'all, I'm gonna sit.
So early. I don't hate.
I'm gonna just sit in the
I just
cut.
go hard though. I go hard. Huh?
I'm gonna just sit in the cut today, y'all. I'm just gonna be a chocolate eye piece.
Oh no, you ain't getting out that easy.
You got Brooklyn in the building.
He's like, your people out here too. They want to see you.
D-Black, where you from, brother?
I'm originally from California, but I stay in Texas right now.
Okay.
You got Brooklyn.
I felt like I heard Cali on your speech.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I spent 3 years in Southern California.
I'm from the Bay, so we talk a little different.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure.
She said, "LL can still get it." I hear you, Chris MB. Shaka Khan, Vaughn Brian. I want to play Shaka Khan, but we got to start the show. And they penalizing me for this. Come on.
Sean said Jen waiting for 150.
Yo, Sean might be the funniest person in the world. Like straight up. And y'all better treat my girl Jen with respect, the same respect y'all give to Warner. Because she's coming here and she's gonna do her thing. And you know what? It might be a part 2.
I saw Jen on the Queen's Talk. I loved her little background. That background. It made me feel like I gotta step my little background.
Hold up.
What's the Queen's Talk? Or
Queen's Talk is every Tuesday at 9 o'clock with
Conversations with Queens.
Conversation with Queens. I'm sorry, Conversations with Queens. And it's on Tuesday at 9 o'clock with the Honorable Hanifa, the Honorable Mayat, and the Honorable Maricela. So they have a show with when we focus on the voices of women on the show. So just every Tuesday, all of a sudden we had that show and everybody want to do lady shows.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing idea.
Right. But once again, you're still the mother of it all. Hello. I told you the reason I call you the mother because you were the original four at the peace show. Listen, idols become rivals. I got my visibility from that network. So I can never take away from that.
Right.
I'm not a hater. And if you came from that network, you knew you were the original lady of that the first lady of that network. So we come from that network. We're derivatives of that network, and you were the first lady. You are the mother of all of us. I don't have pride to say that. You're the mother. You did it first.
Shout out to the mother. Shout out to matriarchal societies.
Yeah. That's what we're doing. So we always gonna pay homage. So as it's documented, no one can ever take that away from you. Period. You feel me? So we have to roll out the red carpet when you come in the room.
Thank you, King.
Listen, roll out the red carpet. When you see, do me a favor before we start the show. Every time y'all see Wana, we're gonna do what we do for Hannibal, but we're gonna give her hearts. Put out the hearts for Wana, please. Please start putting the hearts, the red hearts for Wana, please. Thank you, red hearts for Wana, please.
I'm blushing, y'all. Y'all got
put out the red hearts for Wana, please. I beg of you. Before we start the show, everybody get the red hearts for Wana, and you know you gotta get the elephants for Hannibal, and we're gonna start the show immediately. It's gonna be crazy. Put the red hearts out, please, or everybody red hearts out. And we going back to thank you. I love that.
Thank you, guys.
When she comes into the room, put the hearts out. When she comes into the room, put the hearts out. Red and black hearts. I love it. I love it. I love it.
You guys are so sweet.
That's it. When you see that's your call. That's your call. When you come here, we put the hearts out. Hannibal knows when he put the elephants out, they know Hannibal's in the room. They know that. We pay homage. I didn't even know about Hannibal until Chef told me. He said, yo, there's no guy that's smarter at what he does than Hannibal. I said, what?
Cut it out.
That's what he said. I'm dead serious. That's what he said. I'm not making it up.
I just got, I was lucky enough to be blessed with a big brain. That's it, man. That's it.
You got a big ego.
I worked on developing it, but
such a big ego.
Truthfully, I was in school getting B's and C's with E's. You know what I'm saying? Like, just because of my big brain. So,
man, listen, I graduated second to last in every school I was in.
Yeah,
I was the worst of the best.
But here's the thing. I always say this: like, it doesn't even matter. I got this big brain unless I use it for good. If I use it for something productive, like I admire more so. Like my brother, he didn't do as good at school, but he worked way harder than me, and he worked harder when he got out. And he was self-employed before I was self-employed, and doing good just because his work ethic. There's plenty of smart, lazy, unaccomplished nothings out there. So having intelligence is only as good as what you do with it.
Right. So listen, this is what we're gonna do. Oh, I see you, Terry. When we got a show for you. We got a show for you, Terry. We're going to talk about it later, and that's going to be a sign. Remember you said that. But check this out. Before we start the show today, I want to do a 30 seconds of smoke, but it's going to be different this time. 30 seconds of smoke, sponsored by Ripple. 30 seconds of smoke. I'm not going to let... where's Daryl? Tell Daryl, Daryl, we got the new rules. You and E can't do anything on this page because you said until I get 1,000 subscribers, y'all won't beef. But y'all won't beef, brother. We love you. But today, E Black put something very disturbing up. And I can't wait till y'all to discuss it. It's going to be crazy. But he said he's not putting it up until he gets 1,000, until I get 1,000 subscribers. I don't know. I think E is bluffing. There's no way he could get that type of information. However, I know Daryl is not a person to play with. So if you bring that type of heat, understand it's going to be every day he's going to come at you. So if you're not trying to knock him out, leave it alone. Leave it alone, please. That's it. But what he said today was the best I ever saw. E was coming with. He had music in the background. It was different. It was different. If you didn't see it, please go and watch it, Daryl, because he tried to come for your head. But I don't want you to wake up Daryl, because Daryl's a different type of beast. So we want to keep it peaceful. We want to keep it peaceful. But let's not do on this page. When we get to 1,000 subscribers tonight, we're going to get to 1,000 subscribers tonight. And then E and Daryl is going to have it. And the loser gets kicked out the 4 horsemen.
Oh, snap.
The
Damn.
loser, I know you
Don't do
tripped
that
tonight.
to your boy. Don't
But
do that to your
the
boy.
loser gets kicked out because he tried to put you out on blast, but I think he's bluffing. He said paperwork party. When you say paperwork party in the feds in jail, it means someone snitched, but it's not that type of paperwork. It's a different type of paperwork. Be careful. Don't wake up Daryl, because if you wake up Daryl, I'm telling you, it's nonstop. I'd rather y'all all work together. Y'all been professional for the last 3 days. Yesterday, we didn't mention the other network. We didn't say anything about it, and we worked together. I want to continue that, but since y'all want to get this off your chest, get it off your chest. Please get off your chest. Without further ado, let's cut the nonsense out and let's start our show. Today's spicy topic is what type of cheating. Hold on, somebody got their thing and put to me. Today's topic is what type of cheating is acceptable.
So this is a heavy conversation right here. And before we get this conversation started, I think it's going to be extremely important for us to set the ground rules in here.
Thank you.
We have more people in the garden, right?
Thank you. I'm sorry, Chef. I apologize. I got so excited, OG.
It's all good. It's all good, my dude. So let's get this started because of the fact that we have 111 people watching and 111 likes. God is good. And if you Islamic, Allah is good to you as well. So let's talk about it. We don't exist in the manosphere at all. The manosphere is something different. We exist in a universe called our sphere, where we allow communication and free thought and understanding to govern how we treat folks and how we move forward. Within our sphere, we don't subscribe to red pill rage and blue pill sensibilities, because we're not red pill, we're not blue pill. You know what we are? We are true pill. It's green. It represents green, veracity, truth. So we're the True Pill community, and that's why we named our Facebook page the True Pill Community Garden.
Yes.
All right. So what's in our garden? Or I should say, what's in your garden? Because you all have a place in here. There's 2 pivotal life forms within the garden. There are the rocks and there are the flowers. What are the flowers? The flowers are bringers of life. They grow forth from the earth and they take sunlight and transfer that sunlight through photosynthesis and create oxygen, which thus allows the world to breathe and allows other life to come forth from the earth as well. They are important. They're critical to us. Even as we expel energy and use that oxygen that they've given us, and we expel carbon dioxide, they take that carbon dioxide, use light again, and transfer it back into oxygen, which they thus breathe back into us, which means metaphorically, they take our shit, they take our crap, the waste of our lives, and they still come back and breathe life into us, like helpmates, like partners in this garden. So they must be protected. They must be protected. We are the rocks. The men are the rocks. Where do we sit? The rocks normally sit on the outer periphery of the garden or the outer perimeter of the garden, and they hold steadfast. Why? Because they're dense in strength, and their job is to protect the flowers within that garden. So nobody can mistakenly step on our flower without succumbing to the pain of sharp stone under their feet. So we stand vigilant to protect our flowers. All right. But tonight, I'm going to stretch this out a little bit more because there's another life form that we're going to have to deal with tonight,
Mm.
especially by virtue of the topic we shall be discussing. Okay? Rocks are not the only offenders, or males are not the only offenders that can come into this garden. There's a different kind of life form, a different type of flower that may venture into this garden. And we shall call that flower a weed. This conversation will trigger some. This conversation may trigger many. And if it does, that's what it was supposed to do, to spark the conversation. But we will behave with decorum and respect. We're going to have a good time. We're going to share ideas. But we shall behave with decorum and respect for every flower within these gardens. So, and within this garden. So weeds, beware. Any intrusions into our garden from offending rocks or weeds shall be met with swift justice. So welcome to the garden. It's a place of love. Assume your spot, and let's all grow in this piece. Let's get it.
Let's get it. Damn, you got a nice voice, homie, in a manly way. I meant that in a manly.
King, do they still say pause in New York?
I've never said pause.
We still
I never say pause. They say it, but I don't say that. I'm from Brooklyn. That's a Harlem thing. I don't say that. Yeah, I can't say that because I know what
the
I'm saying.
presidents.
Yes,
Chef
a capital letter, great
pause moment.
Wait, the great choice having her fellas. Of course, it's a great choice. First of all, we didn't have her. She blessed us with her presence. We just didn't have her. You feel me? Berna, what's up? You on 35th Street? I hear you. I hear you, Harlem World. I get it. I get it. So let's get back to the topic at hand. Is there any form of cheating that is forgivable? And the reason why I say that today is because usually it's rare that a woman leaves a relationship after the man has put in years or they have history after one time cheating, knowingly cheating. Usually the woman might forgive you, and she might know that's the type of person you are. But from my understanding, correct me if I'm wrong, I think the only cheating that is forgivable or that woman lets slide is not that you cheated on them, it's the embarrassment. I believe if you cheat on your woman and her friends, and her family, and the community, the church, and the mosque, and whatever network she's in doesn't know, you have a better chance of her forgiving you. That's just one belief. I also believe that if a man cheats, and I say I'm not condoning this, please, I'm not condoning this. But if a man cheats with a woman that your lady admires, that might be a little bit more forgivable. If your man said I had a one night stand with Beyonce or Rihanna or Oprah, you might be like, did you really? Yes, I did. Girl, did you know he cheated on me with Beyonce? I can't stand him. But that's like a badge of honor. That's like a badge of honor. So that's just my two reasons a woman would let you get that one pass if you didn't cheat so the world could find out and you cheated with someone she's admired. Fellas, is there any forgivable forms of cheating in your eyes? And don't give me a safe answer like, no, there's no forms of cheating. You just cheat at her. What do you think? E Black, you first. We're going to have the queen go last. Thank you.
Damn. You know, being married, I'll just be honest with you. You know, some things you can just have to get over with and choke it to the game. So, cheating is a forgivable offense in the eyes of a marriage. You're just gonna have to man up to where you slack. So, I know a lot of people don't want to hear that, but you're gonna have to look at yourself. So, it is a forgivable offense. So, I'm gonna say, yeah, very forgivable. There's a lot more worse things that can happen.
What's worse than cheating? Not paying the bills?
Yeah, losing my money.
Damn.
Leaving my children in unsafe areas. Disrespecting my family. There's a lot worse things. Cheating is just something that, like I said, you're just going to have to, as a man, soak it to the game and get your slack back up.
I like what Arasta baby says. She says if you're emotional with the other woman, then it's unforgivable. You know what? We're gonna go to, because you're shaking your head, Tawana. Why do you agree with that?
Yeah, if you fall in love, that's a deal breaker. If you was emotionally connected, you fall in love, you was financially supporting this chick, you was at family dinners, you met parents, like all of that is unforgivable. If it was cheating, but it was like another relationship where you was like committed to that situation, it's unforgivable. If it's like you went out of town, there was a chick and y'all hooked up and you ain't never talked to her again, okay, if I ever find out about that, right?
Right.
Knowing that you've been intimate, like in a relationship with somebody else while you're in relationship with me and you're connected to another person that you possibly love and care about, that I can't forgive that. And I can't forgive no baby. But
You
not
say you can't forgive a baby.
no, a baby. You had a baby on me? No. That's I'm never, because I'm not going to like we that's not happening. I'm not gonna invite your baby mama. Let's have a good, like nah, this ain't ever happening. So no, if you have a child or if you fall in love, you're probably not gonna get forgiven, not by a chick like me. I don't know about other chicks. They may be all right with sharing you. Because I feel like that's what's gonna happen the entire time. You're gonna be sharing that man with that woman because he's not going to disconnect until he's ready to let go, especially if he got feelings and if he loved that woman. So,
So it got to be, so the forgivable cheating is probably like a one-off.
and and I say that very, lightly that it's forgivable. But yeah, like, a one-off situation where you're not emotionally tied and it happens because it's the heat of the moment, whatever, the time, the space you in. Okay. And I can't even excuse that, but I can excuse that more so than I can an affair where you're like, with that person. No, I can't forget that.
Hannibal, what's your thoughts, brother?
All right, so I'm probably gonna piss a lot of people off on today's show
Oh
because I'm
man,
gonna answer.
oh boy, here we go.
I'm gonna answer a lot of questions like this. It depends. It depends. It ain't for me to tell you what's forgivable and what ain't. It really ain't. I done came to a point in my life, and I met a lot of people from lots of different demographics, lots of different social strata. You know what I'm saying? People are some people a lot of people would consider them weird. They say y'all are weird, y'all weird, but they just are not weird. They're just different. They just live life different. It ain't for me to tell you what's forgivable or not. You know what I'm saying? You could cheat on one person one time and they can decide I'm not going to forgive it at all. Intercourse, emotions, money, the whole nine. Same thing can happen to somebody else, and they'd be like, I'm not phased because I didn't really fucking care about you that much anyway. You know what I'm saying? So this is a hard one for me because I mean, literally, my clothing line, we say live free. I espouse the freedom of doing your thing however you want to do it, no matter
Right.
how weird it is to another person. It ain't for me to judge how you do your thing. God damn it. Parliament Funkadelic, one of my favorite songs by them. They say, I got a thing, you got a thing, everybody got their thing. When we get together doing our thing, all on to help each other. They knew it back in the 70s. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, you can call it what you want. It ain't for me to decide what another motherfucker can forgive or not. For me, I'm not gonna answer it personally because me and my wife don't get on TV talking about our personal marriage business. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
That ain't our speed. So
Yeah, I don't even want to know.
I'm sorry if y'all was looking for me to get spicy on this topic. Ain't gonna happen.
Right.
When we start talking about race, I'm gonna give you everything you want. I promise.
Chef, talk to me.
Cheating, right? Now, I know I tend to be literal. Cheating to me is breach of an agreement, right? Cheating is breach of an agreement, or a breach of an understanding, or a breach of trust, right? You know, there's relationships where women will give a man a hall pass. There's relationships where some women understand the nature or some of the primal natures of men. There's sisters out there, there's flowers out there that actually understand that men have certain primal natures, and they walk into those relationships with a certain understanding. You know, somebody that relates with King will walk in with a certain degree of understanding, and he makes it clear. You feel me? So, is it cheating when he does it, or was there a breach of a trust? Was there a breach of a previously specified mindset? Nah. Now, if you walk into a relationship and you are super Johnny monogamous, and you're representing a certain stance, man, you know, and then you breach that, then yeah, you full of shit. You get what I'm saying? And then you should be. I'm not saying that she should break up with you, but you know, you should definitely be on the adverse part of the conversation because you didn't tell her about this, you know. So what I could say is I'm almost on the it depends part, because it depends on what was the understanding that you came to the table with. Was there an actual breach of trust? So I believe cheating is a breach of trust. If you're with the person, you know, and I'm not talking about I'm not talking about you saying that I'm gonna be monogamous and then
Hold
I
on,
go
Chef.
out and change up.
Hold on, Chef. I'm sorry to bother you. It's 133, 39 people in here, and you're talking, and you always get gems, but we only have 170 likes. Let's give a moment.
125.
125 likes. All right. Let's give a moment of silence until people respect who's on the panel. I have Tawana. I have Hannibal. Are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? Y'all play around if y'all want. Don't let them 25, 30, 40, 60K subscribers fool you. This is where the juice is at. This is where the juice is at. Believe that.
Oh, they jumping up. They jumping
Okay,
up.
because I will straight up cut this show off.
You
I'm
go
gonna
back
push
to
back.
playing that music, jam session.
Jam
Right.
session. I will cut this off because this is crazy. Thank you. Thank you so
Yeah.
much, Rasta Baby. We love you, Rasta Baby. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for that, brother.
No, we good. We good. We at 136 now. So look,
Thank you.
and I'm glad I took a moment to kind of take a look at the chat as well, right?
Because there's a lot of
Remember,
cap in there.
it's okay. When I'm that's the garden is here for everybody, right? And
Right.
what I'm saying is this: cheating. Are y'all talking about sleeping with someone else, or are you talking about cheating? Cheating means a
Mm.
breach of trust. It's a breach of trust. If you watch this, I can go to a certain part of Africa and I can start to date a woman. She will have an understanding that there's a potential that there will be other women that I will be seeking attention or companionship from. All
Mm.
right. Do they consider it cheating? Do you understand what some people consider cheating as? You using household resources on another woman, you providing an imbalanced amount of protection and provision to another woman outside of the woman that you have.
Right.
Some people only consider that cheating. So we need to kind of delineate between cheating and polyamory versus monogamy, because there's going to be a difference. But when we use the term cheating, cheating means that we breached the trust with that person. If that person does not know, or you do not give off that you sleep with multiple people and you give them the idea they're the only person, you have breached that trust, and then you are cheating because you're not playing by the rules.
Mhm.
if you're with somebody and they understand who you are and you guys live a certain kind of lifestyle or whatever, is it cheating? No, it's an understanding. So I'm being literal when I call it cheating versus an understanding, because depending on polyamory, monogamy and cheating, there's a difference. And I think it's important that we craft that difference, because that's going to make a difference on how she seems or how she feels. Cheating denotes that there's a victim. That means you got a victim. When there's cheating, there's a victim.
Wanda said something?
I was saying, if it's polyamory, though, it's not cheating. So
right,
cheating, right? But cheating, if you just literally take it for that, that means that it's known to both parties that that's what happened, right? That it was a cheat. That was cheating. I understand that it's different types of relationships, polyamorous, and polygamy, and all these different types. But in those relationships, maybe this wouldn't be considered cheating, and maybe it would. Because if you sleep with someone outside of your agreement, it could be considered cheating. So yes, I think that we just need to stick with, okay, if both people believe that it's cheating, is there anything that's forgivable or acceptable? Like that's what I'm looking at the question as. I understand, like you said, different relationship types and dynamics, but if I see it as cheating, and I agree with Hannibal that everybody determines what their deal breakers are and what they will and will not tolerate in their relationship. But I also feel like we all have values and morals that we connected to, and we have to share those, because maybe some people don't understand what boundaries are and what's respectable in relationships. And if you always take the stance that it's just cool to do whatever and we just free, like everybody will make that decision. I feel like we in this environment where everything is like, you got to be inclusive and you got to say it this way, and we don't have no values. We can't even speak out against things we believe in anymore. And so people are kind of reverting to those conversations where they're just like, well, just do what you please. No, this is what I think is right. You know what I mean? In my opinion. I'm not speaking against you, Hannibal, and what you said, but I'm just giving my opinion about how setting boundaries and expectations is not telling people what to do, but it's also making sure people understand that is a boundary, that if you cross it, this is how it's viewed.
Right. For the record, you and I are in total alignment. Yeah. I want to be clear. I don't want to be misunderstood at all. Okay. I am not in favor of violations of any trust whatsoever. I've stood on a soapbox, literally telling people that the reason we don't have collaborative efforts in community building is because we don't have enough trust in our communities and on our blocks with our neighbors. And the reason why we don't is because we have violated that trust. Imagine we have a need. We need community patrol because we have a violence problem. Men come together and say, I'm ready to put myself in harm's way, but I need some childcare while I'm out on patrol. And then, so now we have a lack. And then somebody says, okay, I'll be the childcare person for all you brothers out there while you're on patrol. And then when you come back from your patrol, that person who said they're going to watch your kid beat the shit out of your kid for something small. They violated the trust. Now you can't go back on patrol because you don't have nobody covering your childcare need. The trust is the core of collaboration. The trust is the core of community work. If we had the trust, we could do all kinds of community work. We could conquer all kinds of resource lack that gets in the way of us taking responsibility for our own outcomes. The trust is core. The trust is key. I'm all in favor. Don't steal from me. Don't cheat on me. Don't lie to me. Don't fuck with my kids. And if we don't cheat on each other in all those ways, guess what? Now we can trust each other. Now we can build together.
But okay, so let me say something before we continue this conversation. We want to give the biggest shout out to On the Block with Jen for joining us tonight. She is so amazing for coming up and just giving us her all. I appreciate you. She is so dope. And I remember I begged her to be on her show. I'm saying it out. I said, "Can I please be on your show, please?" When I first started, like 3 weeks ago, "Can I please be on your show?" And she said, "You know what? I don't know. All right, come on. It's okay. It's okay." And she's one of the few people that saw us when we started. And I don't know what she saw in us, but whatever she saw is manifesting to this day. And we slowly growing, not slowly, but we're quickly growing, but in an organic way, right? And it's because of her. Like I always say, Juana is the mother of all this. That's number one. But Jen is the one that really said, "You know what? I don't know why I fuck with you, but come on my show, I'll give you a shot." And I'm forever grateful. No matter what you ever need, we're appreciative of you. Before we go on, I want to say one thing. Men, this applies to us too. What forms of cheating is acceptable for men? Not just for women, because men get cheated on too. We live in a world where men get cheated on too. For me, the only form of acceptable cheating for me, if I am extremely ill and I can't function sexually. So I wouldn't mind, I wouldn't care if she went, that's like if I'm older and like 80 and I can't function, then go ahead and have your fun. I don't really care about that.
You so
We got
funny.
new too. If you want to mess with the pool boy and the football player, go ahead. I'm 80 years old. I can't do nothing anymore. You feel me? And a lot of men take these pills and these pink panthers and stuff, and sometimes it might be bad for your heart. It might be bad for your heart, right? So I don't advise anybody to take those pills to get the gas.
Panthers.
Horny goat. They used to buy that when I
Or
worked.
or the honey. They got the honey now. That might be bad for your heart. So be careful. But that's the only reason I have to be old and unable to function. But fellas, what do you feel? Daryl, what's some forms of acceptable cheating, or there's no forms of acceptable cheating for men or women?
You know what? You know what, bro? I'm here with peace to everybody on the panel.
Yes.
Yeah, I
Hey
hear we're gonna
girl.
have hey Tawana, Jens, pleasure to meet you, Hannibal, my lord, King, Chef, E Black. Listen, um, I think that the appropriate answer and really is no appropriate form of cheating except what you just said, right? If I'm locked up and I'm married, or if I'm not married, if I'm locked up for 50, 60 years, what is she to do, right? It kind of seemed unreasonable.
Oh, I didn't think about that.
You get what I'm
Oh.
saying? It kind of seemed unreasonable. And but in any other situation, it's really yeah, it got to be met with like, to me, you disloyal. I'm not. I don't want to call you a certain type of name, but you moving like you moving unflower like. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Just to put it real simple.
Non-floral.
But
Yeah, yeah.
That's a new one.
Explain to the
You're
people.
moving non-floral.
Explain to people what flowers mean. So, because a lot of people, we have newcomers in because of the strength of Warner and Jen and Hannibal. We got a lot of newcomers coming in. We usually get 100, but you got 145 on the jump. Thank
You
you.
up, chef? You up?
Yeah, no.
Flowers.
Explain flowers again. Let them know real quick. Flowers mean woman, basically. We call the woman in this room flowers. We tend not to say the B word or all other types of word. We say flowers, and the men are rocks, right? If you go to the beginning of this video, you will see in every video, Chef gives a beautiful, eloquent, poetic explanation of rocks and flowers in the garden. I'm sorry, Darren, for cutting you off.
No, you good. You good. But yeah, I don't think there's really no reason for cheating, but because I'm the youngest here, I like to be the devil's advocate here, right? And truthfully, I'm built for it too.
Right.
For everybody to know, heads up. But at the end of the day, is people put themselves in a situation to get cheated on. I'm not even gonna lie to you, right? There's men who are in relationships where they're not behaving like men. They're in relationships where I'm not trying to give examples because I don't want to poke at nobody. Nobody feel like I'm taking shots at them because y'all know how I go when I go, right? But at the end of the day, it's like when you in a situation where you got to go to the bar. All right, baby, you got half on the food tonight. All right, you got half on this, you got half on that. Eventually, with the women that I usually deal with, they're not really trying to hear that. Like I said a few shows ago, they got better men better options, less excuses.
Mm.
So if these men gain their courtship, right? They talk to these women, they get a month with them, they're dating, they're talking, whatever. You might get cheated on. If you slip, the next option might be up. That's just how the game goes. That's the reality of it. You know what I mean? That's just the reality of it. If you really want it, keep it. Do everything you need to keep it. Otherwise, the next man up, he gonna take your spot. You know, it remind me of when Scottie Pippen was mad that Tony Kukoc got the shot, but the shot went in. You can never be me.
Mm.
That's all it is. So I'm just saying, like, that's my response. Peace.
Okay. E Black.
That was nice. I just think that most I just think that most women they cheat, but they're gonna stay with their man anyway. Let's just be real
Ooh.
about it. Like a lot of cap in this audience. I'm sorry.
Damn.
The women, y'all stay with y'all man, even if y'all cheating. And men, y'all stay with y'all chick, even if you busted her. A lot of relationships stay because you guys are trying to work things out, and we're more forgiving than a lot of people think.
We got a
We got to
50%
suck up our
divorce rate
pride.
in America. 50% divorce rate in America. Just want to keep that clear while this conversation is being had. That's all.
And majority of those are for financial, not sexual.
Cheating is still cheating. I just wanted to make it clear. You can't say a statement, well, most people stay with their people when the data don't show that.
That's a
I mean,
fact.
we want to have a factual conversation, one not one based on religion or emotion, just factual.
Okay.
That's all.
Damn.
Okay, can I interject?
Yeah, please, please. It got real quickly here.
I was like, I was like,
He's doing
wow,
sharp
okay.
shooting now. He's shooting that. Right.
Woo. We got
I
fan
was
on.
like,
Yeah.
wow,
What
what
the
I
fuck?
just walked into. First of all, that intro was amazing. I am humbled by it. He's putting a lot on it. Okay. He said, can you be on the show? I was like, let me see what y'all about first, because I don't like any maniacs on my channel.
Right.
And I saw, you said you don't know what I saw. I saw what everybody else sees today on this panel and in the chat. You guys were dope. So I was like,
Wow.
okay, I like dope. Let's mix some dope, right?
Thank you.
Not real dope. Okay.
Right.
All right.
No, I'm on probation. No.
All right. Me too. No, just kidding. All right, guys. So thank you so much for the welcome. Thank you everyone who's saying hi in the chat. You already know I'm on the block with Jen. Follow, subscribe, all of that. I want to address the guys. First of all, E Black, I'm sorry, senor, but the number one reason for the divorce rate is infidelity. It is number one. And then it's finances. So that
Wow.
is statistically that's a fact. It's infidelity, actually. Also, I have to disagree. I don't want to pick on you, but I have to disagree. I think when women cheat, they're more likely to cheat for the better deal and leave. I think men, because they're easily distracted and amused by other women, they don't commit to the side chick, right? It's like, and what do men say? I cheat on my wife, but I love her. I ain't going nowhere. You know what I mean? That's the one. She's the one. And I think men handle cheating like that more so than women. When women are cheating, when they're going all out and giving it up, they're already on their way out the door, more than likely. Right. But yeah, of course, people cheat and stay. That happens, you know what I mean, a lot. But when women do it, they're already looking on the better, looking for the better deal. That's why they say the man that your woman's gonna cheat with, you probably already know. You probably already met her. And she's already eyeing him and he was eyeing her. It's just opportunity has to present itself. Sorry, I know I'm giving out free game.
I was gonna say you giving some jewels over here.
No, hold on.
Please keep going, please.
Hold on. One thing. So now we got the facts straight, right? So like I said, I think one of a forgivable form of cheating is when a woman, if a man cheats on a woman that his lady admires. But for men, how would you feel if your woman cheated on someone that you admire? Acceptable? It wouldn't be acceptable for me, but would it be acceptable?
Your egos can't handle that.
I don't know if I can handle that. I don't know.
As much as I would like to be equal, no, I can't. Jen is right. I got to fold on that. You can have her.
Right.
Yeah,
I
charge
can't.
it to the
I don't
game.
know. I don't know if I could. I don't know if I could do that.
Charge it to the game. Correct.
Y'all
Right.
can't handle it. That's why a lot of women don't get caught. They cheat for years.
Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold
Y'all
on.
never even know.
Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on.
Never know.
Do women have side families? Like men have side families?
No, I don't know about that. I've never heard that. Now I've seen some women have children and not sure who the father is, but the man is right, the husband's raising them, stuff like that. Now I have seen that happen.
Right.
And he has no idea, husband has no idea that there's a possibility that the child isn't his. I mean, so things like that happen all the time. So yeah, I feel like that could be considered a side family. But actually he raising the kids, so is that a side family? I don't know.
Right.
I don't know. But yeah.
So fellas, my question once again, what are some forgettable forms of cheating that you would let your lady get away with? Like I said, mine's is old age and impudence, right? That's mine's, right? But what are some other ones? Like, would you allow your woman to sleep with a man that support both of you?
Can I give a scenario and I let whoever go?
Right.
This isn't just me. I don't know if y'all watched the show Insecure.
Right.
Lawrence was cheated on by Issa. Spoiler alert. But at the end of the day, he kind of forgave her because he was able to reflect and look upon himself. You sleeping 4 years on the couch. Y'all got to go half on meals, and you begging her for different stuff that you can't afford. You're not really, you're not displaying a real sense of manhood that she can really cling on and feel protected behind. Something that she can say that I feel protected completely behind, like the world against us, and she
Right.
really can go to war. Like I feel like I know Tawana feel about her husband. You know
Yes.
what I mean? And so like I'm just saying it's like when men fail to really be men and they demasculate themselves, you get put up you end up in those situations. And then we also, in the wise words of King, we always got to look at the options. What options did
Options.
this woman, hey, what options did she even have?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because if you guys want me to be politically correct, I will. But how I really feel, if we're really being honest, all women don't have the same options to cheat anyway. So
Whoa.
they can't walk outside and get any guy. But some women can. Jen is smiling because she know I'm right. She's know I'm right.
Well,
Right.
But
Sound like options talk.
hold on. Let me ask you a question.
Yes, sir.
Is oral sex a forgivable act of cheating if you catch a partner? She said he or she said I didn't have sex with them. It was oral.
It's over.
Wow. Why is that more? Going to predominantly white schools. Why is oral sex so valued more than actual vaginal intercourse in the black community for some reason? Why is that like a heartbreak? Oh, you gave her head, she gave you head, but in
Because
other places,
it's on your face.
It's like
we have
Thank
to
you.
kiss you.
Bob and so
There we
Off
go.
of your face.
exchange.
shouldn't it be equal?
Cheat like that. To me, you might as well listen. If you cheat on me, you better do all that. Have oral. Might as well just get it out the way because if you haven't, I assumed you already did, and it's like I'm treating you like you did everything. You didn't ate the groceries. You didn't. I'm gonna treat you just like that. So you might as well have.
Right.
That's how it's going to present to me, and so therefore it's like. I don't know. I can't move past it. Like I just can't move past it. And for that person in the comments who called me Tawanda, my name is Tawana. Okay.
But wait, is he acting up?
No, they was just talking about I might cheat on my man, but whatever. I don't care. But just call me by my right name.
Thank you. So were you gonna say something, Jen?
I was gonna say that we speak truthfully here, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I would say the worse you are in bed for men, the worse you are in bed, the more forgivable your cheating act will probably be.
Whoa.
Here's why. Let me explain. Espérate.
Speak on it.
Wait a minute.
Con
Because
sabor.
when you're really, really good in bed with your woman and you have that chemistry and you blow her mind, I'm not talking about, a relationship where, the sex is okay, you know what I mean? Horizontal thing. It's like, yeah, because in a woman's mind, her imagination is 100 times worse than what you think. Like
Right.
worse, right? In your mind, you think, yeah, I just smashed that HOE or whatever. I don't care about her. In her mind, she's thinking, if you're good in bed, oh my God, did he do the little wink thing? Her? Did he put us
Yes.
down? Did they use the ice? Did they? Oh my God, I know he sucks my blah blah blah. Did he pull her hair? That's what
This
we're
looks very
thinking.
familiar.
Damn.
And
Yes.
those pictures are irremovable. I'm telling you that when a woman is in love with a man, listen, fellas, when a woman is in love with a man and he cheats on her, it is unforgivable, even if she says, I forgive you. It is like a death. And then she has to move forward with a broken thing. But men think, oh, she forgave me. She didn't leave me. Good. We're working out for the kids. It is a tattoo in her mind. And she goes in and out of it. Right? Y'all be making love and you love whatever. And you like, ooh, that was great. Baby, get the rag. And she be in there getting the rag for you anyway. Right? But in her mind, she was like, he probably did this to that, to that chick or whatever. I'm telling you, y'all think that we can like erase it because we stay with you. It is a tattoo. It's imprinted. Y'all don't care. Y'all can smash and be like, I don't care about that girl. It is forever. If a woman is in love with you, it is forever. And then she has to move forward, just trying to deal with something that is now dead because you killed it.
Jen,
Right?
You said, you say we killed her. How do we kill? Like,
I have a follow-up question too, but you can go first, Keegan. I don't know.
thank you. Well, how do we kill her?
No, you killed what she thought was there, what she thought.
Heartbroken.
Okay.
Right?
Like a heartbroken.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's like that. That's how you kill it. And she can move on with you. And she's like, we're gonna stay together for the kids. But it is forever. You don't have the same woman that you once had before that cheating. That's why I always tell men, think about it and think hard. Because afterwards you are not dealing with the same woman. And it'll look the same to you. We're like, well, she's still giving me head, she's still making me breakfast, I'm telling you, it is not the same woman in your house. And now, without telling you, she's going to be looking at the better deal. The guy across, the guy.
It's a stranger in my house. Tamia said it. It's a stranger in my house.
Yes, that's exactly how it is. Except y'all still living together. But she's looking at, the work husband now. Like, I wonder if he would disrespect me like that. She's looking at the guy who's nice to her at Starbucks. I wonder if he would do me like that. You broke her, even if she stays with you. Yeah. It is a tattoo. That's why I say think long and hard, no pun intended, before.
Right.
Think about it. And sometimes, listen, we live our life in phases, right? Every year we change. Tomorrow you're different than you are today. Tomorrow you're different. You may feel different. Communicate. I'm going to stress that. People say love conquers all. No, it doesn't. Communication conquers all.
Right.
Because I love you. I can say I love you and still cheat on you. However, if I communicate with you and tell you, listen, I'm feeling X, Y, and Z. I know we've been married. I love you. I'm feeling this way. I'm feeling like I'm wanting to be with other people. You give her the option. She may say, you know what? I've been feeling that way too. You think we should separate for a little while, see what happens? But you have to take the ego out of it. So it's not love conquers all. It's communication conquers all because we've all loved people and cheated on them.
Right. Darrell, you had a question?
It was more, yes, I do. The way you described it, again, because I'm so young and I'm sort of volatile here, so please forgive me.
I love it.
I'm 31, but yeah, I got to make you get it. But listen, Jen, what you described, one word came to my mind, the word dignitized. Have you heard of that word before?
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
So you have. Oh, could you please elaborate what that word means to you?
It means that, like, what does it mean to me? It means that you will do anything to get that and put up with anything to get that. It's deep, right? It's emotional, it's spiritual, it is deep. It's the type of thing your girlfriends would be like, why are you doing that for him? Like, I don't care. right? You will kick your friends out at 3 o'clock in the morning if he texts you and say, "What you doing? I'm coming over." You got to go. You got to go. You got to go. You got to go, because he's on his way. It's deep. It's not healthy, and I don't recommend it because it blinds you, but it exists. And a lot of, let me tell you, a lot of men think that they do that to women, and they don't. Sorry, fellas. That's rare, right?
No, but hold on. Can you be dignitized without the D part? Can you be dignitized? Because I feel like you could have a woman in a trance, or a woman could have a man in a trance without even sleeping with them. Is that possible, Darrell or Jen?
Say that again, the question.
Can you have a man or a woman in trance without sex?
In a trance?
Without sex.
Tied to the sex.
I want to say
who's going to penetrate her. I do get what you're saying, though.
Right.
Because I have, been around certain men, and they just like emit this thing, this confidence in this thing, and they'll
like
just
what Darrell does. What Darrell does, he admits this confident, like what Hannibal does, like what Chef does, like what E Black does.
What do they do? Jonas say
admit his confidence.
That makes I don't know. Dignitized is just that.
Yeah,
you have to have sex in order to have that connection, so that you're obsessed with that.
Right.
Yeah. Now, do women get turned on by a certain type of personality without a man even touching her? Yes, but you have to be a very particular type of man. And
what type of man is that?
Okay, I'll give you an example of a time I felt like that, when a man never even like touched me. I just met him, and it happens, but it happens. It's so rare. It is rare, right? Sorry guys, I don't date short men, and by short, I'm saying like if we're eye to eye. I'm only 5'3", right? So if we're eye to eye, I can't.
You date men 5'4" and up?
No. I don't even like y'all.
If you got that. That was a real joke at the other network. If you got it,
the number 5 gives me the heebie-jeebies. When I ask a man his height, like if he starts with, I'm like, shut up, right? But that's a show for another day, right? I feel the stares right now. How dare you? I'm tall in my head. But let's stay on topic, because that's a show, right? I'll give you an example of when I felt it. If you can get me without touching me, without you for real, because I'm very cynical. I'm very judgmental, right? So I'm always judging a man. I'm like, what you coming with? I heard it all before. And okay, and all right, so you got a BMW, and what else you got? Okay, what? Men think that the material things, right, is I'm gonna get it with this. I watch this. No, one of the times that sticks out to me when that happened, I was on set, and this guy walks in. I never met him before, and I'm just sitting down waiting. And he walks in and puts the seat behind me. He just sits behind me, but he was like close, right? Very close, without saying anything, without doing anything, without touching me, right? And then I was like, okay, all right, whatever. And then they came over, introduced us. You're gonna be working with such and such today, blah, blah, blah. And he was just very like, not so much, I'm not gonna be on her, because some men do that too. Oh, she pretty, so I ain't gonna tell her she pretty. I'm gonna be different. That doesn't work either, because that's also forced, right? You think I'm attractive. I know you think I'm attractive. Stop playing, right? So that's also forced. You can't do that. A lot of men think I'll get her because everybody's, saying she's pretty. So his style was very much like, I'm a bad mamma jamma too. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to curse on here. I'm that bad.
We curse.
Okay, I'm that bad too, right? So it was a very strong, silent, very confident, right? Energy. He had big dick energy.
Big dick energy.
Yes, he had big
I can relate.
energy. And let me tell you something. Big dick energy does not mean a big dick.
I know.
It doesn't mean
but I don't know.
Right.
I know, but I don't know.
You know, but you don't know.
This is what she's talking about. What she's talking about is the mind. What she's talking about is the mind fuck.
Yes.
What it is, and what it is this. People don't understand. People think that foreplay starts when the pants come down. No. Foreplay starts way before. Foreplay is something that starts way before. The mind fuck can actually be more pivotal than the actual, because if if you talk to her and listen, I ain't giving away too much, man. But look, if you talk to her in a certain way and you actually truly listen, not the BS, you listen, and you come back with things that's contiguous to what she's talking about. She feels a certain way. She feels safe. She feels protected. She feels that you desire her. She feels that you are the spackle that's going to spackle all the cracks in the drywall for her. Well, by the time the actual physical act happens, she going to psychologically, remember, the brain is the center of it all. She's going to think your dick is 40 times bigger than it actually is because of the fact that you've actually created that real foreplay. You get what I'm saying? So once you just jump to the sexual act, it's going to the sexual act, and it's just going to be this, that. Get your measuring stick, your ruler. With the other part, the actual real, and this is a concept I have that I call emotional foreplay. That's the real foreplay that has an impact on the rest, man. And if you don't get that right, then you're gonna just be stuck. No more secrets for y'all. The rest is gonna be on the Patreon.
And then, and then it's also too how a man carries himself and how other men react to that man. And it's like the art of burlesque. You got to give a little and then take it away. Most men are looking to conquer a woman. So they're trying to say the right things. They're trying to show the right things. I got a car, I got money. They're constantly peacocking, right? And it's much more attractive when you give a little and then you take it away. When you go up to talk to her, be in her face, put your hand on the small of her back, and then walk away and be gone for like 30 minutes. She's going to be looking for where he went. Where that guy went. Right. That's how it works. It's like give a little and then take it away. Men are too like, you fine, you this, you that. It's like that we've heard before, over and over and over again. But what men do is they go to complete opposite. And they're like, I ain't gonna tell her she pretty. That doesn't work either, because that's not even you, that's fake.
Do you think that is that the reason why people get catfish a lot and be in them 2-3 year relationships?
Why? Get catfished? Why?
Because sometimes the masculine energy comes through the phone, I guess. I don't know. I'm just trying to figure out why men get caught up with women and women get caught up with dudes who don't even look like how they look like, and then that energy just comes off. It's like it's weird to me.
Because every woman doesn't. Yeah. I don't know. I think every person isn't stimulated by what Jen is like. So for instance, Jen may be stimulated by men who kind of give you that playful, flirty, I'm the shit type energy, pull back. But all people aren't stimulated by that. Some people are stimulated by conversation. Some people are stimulated by, that. So when they on this phone with a man and he's giving them all the conversation, attention, all the time they need, and they don't really have to see them in person. Because I have girlfriends who don't like to, like, they're introverts. So they like their initial conversation, they like to have those conversations on the phone with men for months before they even see them in person, because they are just like that. They're just that introverted. Like, and I know men who are introverted as well, right? So that conversation piece can be stimulating for some people, and some people get turned on by that. Some people get, brought in by that. So don't assume that everyone likes men like that, because that is certain women are going to be attracted to that type of man. Some women are going to be turned off by a man who's a little bit, playing games. Like, because to me, it sounds like he playing games. Like, you go play with me, then walk away. Like, no, you need to let's get this going.
I agree with Tawana.
Hold on. Before you go, Daryl, I want to say one thing.
Sorry.
This is a great segue to the main topic.
Dum dum dum.
Dum dum dum. At the end of the day, here it goes. Because is there a cultural difference between Latin women and Black women of how they want to be approached? Is there a cultural difference? Is it the stigma behind Latin women? They want to be romanced, swept off their feet, and adverse to Black women who want to know, can you be the provider and protector? Forget all the narratives you want to paint. What can you do? Is that a cultural or ethnic thing? We're gonna start. We get on the main topic of today. That's what we're doing.
I don't.
Who go first? Dad will go first. Dad will go first if you want to set it off.
I mean, my last statement I was going to say was Tawana, because I definitely agree with her comments. Again, I kind of just sum that up to like different people got different preferences and different options. Like to some people, they see the Instagram model and she's just an Instagram model. But what they don't know is that actual men have actual men have access to her. You just don't.
Oh,
Right.
that's
So
a fact.
again, it's just
I have access.
thank you.
I have access. I have options. It's the big O.
A spade is a spade, it is what it is, right?
Right.
So segue into what you asked about, King. I think it doesn't matter about race more than just the preference. The preference of a woman matters. Tawana, respectively, is beautiful, and Jen, respectively, is beautiful. They might want to be treated differently. They might want to be courted differently, talked to differently, treated, handled differently. I think that a wise man, a man who deal with women of that caliber, he understands, learn the preferences first, take the actions right after that. You get what I'm saying? That's how I would move.
That's right. I agree, because even when she's like me personally, I don't have a physical requirement. Like I won't ever say I'm not gonna date a man that's not 6 feet. Like I would never say anything like that, because if that man got all the other stuff that I love, he gonna get a chance. Like that's just how it is. Like, I'll date a short man, tall man. If he fat but he got swag, I might date him too. So I don't know. I don't have that kind of preference as far as that. I have other preferences that are more valuable to me, right? And
such as
more to me, like is he financially literate? Is he smart? Like is he super intelligent? Like is he a gentleman? Does he have like family oriented values? Like what's his belief system look like? All those things are more important to me than how you look physically. Then I can say, okay, like honestly, it was a conversation. Like when I went on a first date with my husband, it was our conversation that like made me change my whole entire opinion about him.
But he's handsome though. Your husband is handsome.
He is handsome, and I love him. Yes, don't get me wrong. He's beautiful.
He's handsome. Let's get that correct. So,
but that's not
in a manly way. I'm saying in a manly way.
He's a pretty boy. He's a Kappa. So there you go.
Yo,
like you. Yeah. So no, but when we went on a date, and he was talking about just like how he is, and the things that he had going on, like that changed my opinion, and I started liking him because of the conversation. So I think the girl is right on point. Like every woman has her own preference, how she want to be treated, what's valuable to her, what's important to her. So stability is important to me. So if you tall but you stupid and you can't take care of me financially, like I don't care about you. I don't care how tall you are. Like I'm gonna date the short man that got financial stability and he got that going. That's how I think. So I think you're right, but I don't know if it's cultural.
Okay.
I don't know that. That's what I'm.
Okay, so Jen, I want to repeat the question again. Is it a cultural, ethnic, or race thing of how women want to be approached? Are there nuances? And I know Hannibal might have some historical context to the nuances of how certain women from certain communities would like to be approached in regards to dating or sex or relationships.
I think that of course, absolutely. But we can do my right. We can do this.
Right.
The problem with these conversations is that you need this to comfort people. It makes them feel comfortable when you say not all, some, right?
Right.
We can't throw out blanket statements.
No absolutes, right.
Let me elaborate on what I said about short men, because one, it's offensive to short men. I know that, right? Right. Offended. Two, people automatically think that I would take someone who's 6'5" and an asshole. That's where the mind goes. Oh, so you would be with somebody just because they tall? What if they not financially sound? No. Never, not never. You could be 6'5" and physically everything I want, which I've encountered, but you were like a bimbo. You didn't have conversation. You didn't have life experience. And I'm like, I can't do nothing with you, man. Now, it's more than culture. It's also how we were raised. I have a big father in the house. Okay, over 6 feet tall, very strong bodybuilder, right? And that's our first relationship with the male, your daddy, right?
Mm-hmm.
My dad won it all, right? In my mind, as a little girl, my daddy's strong, he won it all, whatever. So you grow up and it's like you start looking for those type of male figures. Now, I've dated as short as this guy was probably 5'6", right? But innately, when I walk in the room with this guy who's 5'6" and wonderful, he was financially astute. He was very, very well dressed, always in a suit, okay, into finances. But I'm sorry, by nature, when I walk in the room with Mr. 5'6" and Mr. 6'2" walks in, by nature, I'm like, I want the bigger guy. I want to feel protected. I don't want the shortest guy in the room. I just don't, right? I want the guy who's, if we were still living in the forest, I want the guy who can carry 2 buffaloes on his back, not the bird.
And there's nothing wrong with right.
No, that's right. So yeah, I've dated short, but in my mind always goes to innately what you want. And I think what people do is, they'll claim like, well, no, I'll take, I care about the inside. I don't care about the outside, right? That's what we do because we're taught to love what's on the inside. And you're going to need somebody to wipe your ass when you're 80. Leave these pretty girls alone and leave these pretty boys alone because you need somebody who's going to be there for you. And what happens? You go with tradition, you go with what your mama and daddy told you, and then you cheat on that sure thing that's financially down and loves you and cares for you, is going to wipe your ass at 80. You're constantly innately going to be looking for, but I like this type of woman. I like this type of man, but I'll settle into this marriage, I guess. And life is too short. I will not marry or couple with
somebody. That was a funny joke. Life is too short. I get it.
Listen,
that was funny. That was funny.
I'm not going to allow myself, right? Any more time, wasting any more time. I'm not going to couple myself with someone I am not physically attracted to, because marriage is a long time. Okay. So he'd have to walk in the room and I'd still have to feel turned on. And I'm not doing that with 5'3". I'm 5'3". I cannot do it. I cannot do it. Yeah. And I don't think anybody should settle for what they're not innately attracted to. You heard of the 80-20 rule, right? Get 80% of what you need. No, get what it is that you're attracted to, because you're going to go there anyway. I tell men that online all the time. I say, you hollering at me, but you're married. You know why you're hollering at me? Because I'm what you like physically. So take
whoa.
Oh my gosh,
well,
whoa. Wait, hold on, water. It's about to get a little bit spicy.
Okay.
Before we get spicy, we got my brother down in the lobby. We want to let him up, but we know we need likes. Y'all know y'all love him. That's Mr. Best in the world. We need some more likes before we let him up. We need some subscribers before we let him up. We holding him hostage. That's what we do. Don't keep my brother down there too long. Before Rana says anything, remember, family first. Hannibal, what is the racial context behind women wanting to be approached a certain way? Is there actually one between Latin women and Black women? Is there context behind that?
So look, I'm finna teach up in here. You dig? I'm finna teach. I want you to imagine 3 Black people. One of them, Pele, the greatest soccer player that ever lived.
Right.
The other, Attorney General Daniel Cameron, who fucked Breonna Taylor's justice up. And three, Dr. Huey P. Newton. Right. I want you to fix those 3 Black people in your mind. Are they the same because they're Black? Fuck no. Okay. First off, if you ask Pele, I don't even know if he's still alive, but if you ask him if he's Black, he's probably gonna say, I'm Brazilian. Number 1. Number 2, we all know Daniel Cameron's Blackness is not like Huey Newton's Blackness. Not at all.
Facts.
Okay. So I take great issue. I'm learning more and more every day, as much as reading as I've ever done. And it's the same thing with Latins. Okay, I remember one time I pissed off this Cuban or this Puerto Rican. It was ages ago before I couldn't distinguish the flags. I mixed up the flags. And he was like, fuck no, bro. I'm Cuban, bro. I'm not Puerto Rican, bro. Look, Cubans, Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, those are the Afro-Latinos. They have, okay, big up, right?
That's right, Jen. About
They,
time, Jen. Let them know, Jen. I know the truth, Jen. I just want them to know the truth.
okay, so the Latinos, they don't have the same experience as the Mexicans, as the Venezuelans, as the Nicaraguans, as the Panamanians. So when we discuss race, this is what I want for our community. First off, us. We need to get a little more knowledgeable and nuanced in this conversation.
Mm-hmm.
We absolutely have to do it in order for us to reach conclusions that make sense.
Mm-hmm.
All right, because even let's go deeper. Let's go into a city like Chicago, where I'm from, okay? Where you can take Black people who went to school at in Niles North and Skokie. They had a different experience than the people that went to Austin Business Academy 10 years ago, okay? It's there's so much diversity in our community. Now I want to give y'all some historical facts to kind of background this. America is the third largest country on the planet as far as population.
Right.
300 and roughly 40 million people. Why is that relevant to the conversation? There's not that you don't see this kind of diversity anywhere else on the planet. Take your ass to the Philippines. Go to the mall in the Philippines. You're going to be the only Black motherfucker there, okay? Everybody else is Filipino. Everybody else is Filipino. And if you're not Filipino, they know you're not from there because they don't have the racial heterogeneity that we have in the United States for various reasons, okay? So again, when you look at the racial dynamics in this country, we have a tendency to think in Black, white, Latin, because that's how society has conditioned us to discuss this thing. And even us Black folks, us people who are children of the diaspora, we are from the most diverse continent, one of the most diverse continents on the planet. There's 54 countries in Africa. 2,000 different languages are spoke on the continent of Africa. 2,000 different languages. I'm not even close to exaggerating. Not even close. When Professor Chancellor Williams discussed in The Destruction of Black Civilization, when he discussed what made us vulnerable to invasion, it was the diversity. It was the diversity. Black people on the continent were not thinking of themselves as Black until outsiders came in and said, "You're Black." They said, "I'm Fulani, okay? I'm Yoruba. I'm Kosa. I'm Zulu." Okay, they did not. Nobody is. You go to Nigeria right now, and even if they identify with the Blackness, they're Nigerian first.
Right.
Is there any Nigerians in the chat that can co-sign? So when I discuss racial things, it's hard for me as a scholar, as an academic to jump in on these conversations, because I'm gonna tell you right now, guess what? If you talk to 100,000 motherfuckers in your lifetime, 100,000, okay, and then you die, and guess what? Let's say all of them were Black. You spoke to 1/4% of Black people. A quarter of 1%. And if that group wasn't all that diverse as far as religion, as far as education level, as far as do they live in the city? Do they live in the country? Do they live in the suburbs? If that group was not diverse, guess what? You ain't spoke to enough people to make conclusions about Black Americans. A very diverse group. So it's very hard for me to jump in these conversations and talk about Black people do this, Latin people do that. Because I know how fucking diverse we all are. I know that if I go to goddamn Humboldt Park here in Chicago, where the majority of the Puerto Ricans are, some old Jibaro is probably going to be playing some Bomba y Plena, right? And guess what? The Mexican motherfuckers in Little Village, they don't listen to that shit. They don't know what the fuck you're talking about. They listen to goddamn they don't listen to that shit, okay? They don't listen to that shit. Mexicans ain't nothing like Puerto Ricans. Right. So I can't speak about Latins. I can speak about the handful of Puerto Ricans I knew when I was running the streets in Humboldt Park. You know what I'm saying?
You look at the comments. You read the comments. You lost focus. Look at the comments. You did your thing, but let me backtrack it, because for us to get to where you at, we have to scaffold, right? We have to have these rudimentary conversations so we can move up to that part.
Exactly.
Because when you give people too much, it's overwhelming. It's overwhelming. But you have high expectations for our people, so I respect.
I absolutely do. I absolutely do.
For high expectations, we have to have high support. So we're gonna get there. We're going to get there.
Let's do it as a team.
That's why you're on the show.
Help me become a better teacher. I'm all for
that. Right. And that's why we want to get to where you at. But let's get there. Let's talk about the nuances, and let's talk about the ignorance. But let's do it in an entertaining way. That's what I do. I specialize in the ignorance. So let me get there. Y'all heard Hannibal. I hope y'all took y'all notes, because everything he said was factual.
Yes, it was.
And we're gonna go back to that. And I always tell Hannibal, wait to the end. He always want to drop the lessons early. Wait to the end. We gotta get them there. But at the end of the day,
you can't feed a stick to a baby.
Juana,
yes.
Juana, let's get busy. What about the black women when they walk in the streets and they look beautiful like you, and they say, are you part Spanish?
Mm-hmm.
Anytime most people see a beautiful black woman, why can't she be 100% black?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Why does she have to be mixed? Oh, Jen, what about this? Every time they see an assertive, independent Latino woman, they give her attributes of a black woman.
Mm.
What is this? What are these stigmas for?
I can answer that.
All right, please.
First of all, what Hannibal said is 100% correct. But today, for the sake of this conversation, let's suspend disbelief, right? For this conversation, he's absolutely 100% correct. Although I will say, exceptions to the rule don't make the rule disappear.
No, right.
No.
None of us are a monolith. None of us. I went to Humboldt Park. I was like, I'm Puerto Rican. I was like, those Puerto Ricans are different. I grew up in the Bronx, New York. Whole two different type of Puerto Ricans, right?
Mm-hmm.
But culturally, if I was to throw a Puerto Rican parade, all the ones in Humboldt Park are showing up, and all the ones in New York are showing up, and we're all listening to the same music and eating the same food and talking the same and dancing the same, right? You would have to tell me you're from Humboldt Park, because I wouldn't know, right? Unless I hang out there for a while. So I totally get what he's saying. And let's just, we all have high expectations for our people. All of us do. We are not a monolith, right? We're all different. I can meet a Puerto Rican woman who only dates white men and hates rice and beans.
Right.
But I can show you 5,000 Puerto Ricans that eat rice and beans every single day. So for the sake of this conversation, let's talk about cultural differences, because they exist. As much as we want all the people from diaspora to join forces and be one big transformer, we are not, right? And it is because of the cultural differences. And
200 likes. Let's get to 200 likes, please. Sorry.
Huh? Say again?
No, I have this Tourette's thing. I scream out 200 likes. The likes that I want, I try to manifest.
200 likes. So we do have cultural differences. And if we don't discuss those cultural differences, if we just skip to, no, we're all the same people, then we stay at war. We have to understand our cultural differences. There are cultural differences between Black women and Latin women, and that's okay, right? What makes it not okay is when those cultural differences are pit against each other.
Right.
And I've dated Black men, right? I hear the way they talk about Black women. So there is a cultural difference. I've heard Black men say, oh, I only date Latin women. I only date white women because of X, Y, and Z. And these are men that have dated multiple Black women. So we can't ignore people's experiences, right? We got to put on our big boy pants or our big girl pants and discuss the cultural differences. That's my opinion. But no, we're not a monolith. I can find 10 people that don't think like me. But yeah, I've heard it all. I've heard it
I,
all. There
I
are
totally
cultural
I,
differences.
I totally hear what you're saying, and I don't want to give the impression that the conversations, there's no value in having the conversations. What I want to make clear is that we have to be able to separate our anecdotal experience from trends, because like Sherelle said yesterday, I believe there are people who have never left their neighborhood. And if you've never left your neighborhood, you have literally been around a very homogenous group, a small sample size, if I can use statistical language, that just is not one that you can use to form definitive conclusions. Okay. It's one thing to say, in my experience, okay, from the people that I've spoken with, I have observed this. And it's another thing to say, well, look, most Black motherfuckers do this, and most Latin motherfuckers do that. And that's, we get in trouble when we do this, because what we can do essentially is feed stereotypes that can then be used against us. And that's what I don't need. I don't need somebody who's only interactions with Black. Imagine a caseworker or a goddamn public defender who only deals with Black people in the goddamn criminal court system.
Right.
This is all the Black people that he knows. His anecdotal experience will be colored by his profession. And
Right.
then that public defender walking around trying to make conclusions about my people after only having dealt with people in the criminal court system, like, don't fucking do that.
Wait,
Don't.
hold on, hold on. Let me say something. A little pushback to that. What you're saying would be absolutely right if we lived in the 70s and maybe the early 80s. But we live in a time where social media makes this global, where you have the ability to experience other cultures without leaving your block or your radius.
To what
So
to what
that's
qualitative
a little
degree
pushback.
though?
That's a little pushback. That's a little
I feel
pushback.
you, and I love pushback, but
Right.
it's to what qualitative degree?
Right.
Are the interactions we're having with people on social media genuine? Or are we interacting with the representative or who they really are? Also, if you think about social media, I love the internet, the access to information, but when you think about the silo effect,
Right.
is everybody familiar? And if you're watching and you're not familiar with the silo effect, like on my Facebook, it's only people who I know or who I'm ideologically aligned with. Motherfuckers who come with that fuck shit get blocked and unfriended right the fuck away. I don't want you
Right.
bothering me or my people. So
Can
Okay.
I
I
have a
But,
tell
but,
you?
but,
so
but,
I
but,
so I'm just trying to say I have a silo. I have a silo, so I can't make conclusions about what I see on my social media because there are a bunch of people who are just like me.
Okay, let me say
okay.
this. Earlier, you said you wanted to be a better teacher, right?
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Here's my advice: you have to meet people where they are, because the person
Mm.
who never left their block has no idea what you're talking about. And if you don't meet him where he is, he's gonna be like, "Get out my face. This is my world. This is my life. This is my environment. This is all I know." So you have to meet them where they are in order
Daryl
to
said that a lot.
say again.
I was just about to say that. What you just said, Jen, I
He
wish
said
I
that.
heard it come out of men's mouth every single day,
He said
because
that.
what they do is they come to our neighborhoods, right?
Mhm.
We making money, we take care of our families. Here you go, bro. Leave all of that behind and read this. It's gonna save you. And we like, it didn't even save you, right? So I'm like, nah, son. You know what I mean? So I disagree with that. One point, I wasn't trying to take no shots at nobody. No feelings need to be involved. I just heard her say something that needs to be brought up, that you can't. And Hannibal knows this. Hannibal, he already know to go get involved with the young soldiers. But what you so right, Jan. I just want to just emphasize that you right as hell about going where people are and meeting them where they are, and not spewing bullshit. like Hannibal said, to correlate both ideologies.
Right.
Mhm.
So let's go back and let's get this spicy
Okay.
before we get this smart. At the end of the day, we want to make sure. I want to answer those questions. Why is it that every time you see a pretty black woman, they say, "Are you mixed?
Are you mixed? Yeah.
Mm.
Are you Spanish? Are you Native American?"
Mhm.
Why the time you see an independent, assertive Latina, you acting black?
Well, can we
We
say
acting white. What's up with you?
can we say this though? When we like when slavery was happening and there was a mixture of cultures, black women were essentially raped by other cultures, right? Or we had children that were mixed culture, and there that kind of grew into this whole idea of the house slave, right? The woman who was the lightest got in the house, and you got praised for kind of being closer to that culture than you did to being black. So like the darker slaves, worked in the field. The lighter slaves got closer to. So I think it comes from like that culture, that thing as well, like where women were like kind of glorified for being lighter, being having longer hair, having straighter hair, having features that were Eurocentric, I guess. So the more European your features are, the more acceptable you are in culture. And sometimes men are more attracted to women who look more European when they're black. And that's just what happens. It's colorism. It happens within our own community and culture.
Right.
So when a woman looks more like she's Latina and she's black, that's attractive to men. It's like, oh, she's exotic, and I don't even know. And I feel like some Latino women or even, women of another race, like they feel offended by that sometimes. Like why they got to be exotic because they look like me. And I
Right.
think that it's all stereotypical, but it is something that's real. I know that Hannibal's trying to get us to see beyond culture and see, how connected we are, but it's your experience is that you're in this community with people who look like you, and you see that when you're different shades you treat it differently from someone who's lighter or who's darker. Like you see those differences within your community and you know where they stem from, and you try to address that because that's where people are. Like Jen said, that's how people think.
Right.
People aren't thinking about the diaspora. So how do we fix that? I don't know. It's something that's been ingrained in us. The lighter you are, the longer your hair, the closer you are to white features, the prettier you are to society. And it's in the media, it's being pushed in popular culture, it's being pushed all the time. And even when I was growing up and my cousin was darker than me, she was darker than you, King.
Mm-hmm.
They would say that I was the prettier cousin, right? Because I was
Mm.
and they made her feel like she wasn't as pretty as me. And it always made me uncomfortable. But I was like, we were kids,
Mm-hmm.
and that was just my experience just as a child growing up. And just seeing how it plays out even now. You see men who are more attracted to women, black women, when they have straighter hair as opposed to curlier hair. When they have, the slender nose and the slender lips or, whatever. Like you see that. But then some of our features are glamorized, like the big butts and, that small waist, like all of those things play a part of this. I don't know, colorism is a deeper thing, and it's something that we haven't addressed, and I don't know if we ever going to.
Jen?
Tawana, you and I've been agreeing. I don't know if you could tell, but I've been
Yeah,
agreeing with
I do. I can tell.
with most of what you've said. I'm probably not communicating as well as I could be, so I'm gonna focus real hard.
You are
You're doing great. I like it.
I I want to promote the greatest understanding that
Mm-hmm.
we can achieve.
Mm-hmm.
I'm fully aware that there are common threads within all groups, right? Fully aware of the common threads. the diversity that I spoke with doesn't belie or negate those common threads, right? Uh, I am like, I genetically have a white parent. I was not raised with my white parent. I identify 100% with my blackness, and that's it. And I always have.
Yeah.
Okay, but I know this. Not many of the people that I associate with now, who are all, I only have black friends. I'm self-employed. The only non-blacks I deal with are the post office workers, the people at goddamn Target and shit like that. The point I'm trying to make is this: out of all that group, hardly anybody has been in encounters with police more than me. I had a troubled upbringing.
Mm-hmm.
I rebelled against my very positive role model. I was seeking my tribe and I was looking in the wrong places. So I crossed paths with the police numerous times. And I know that my light skin has saved my ass at least once. But guess what? Common threads. It didn't save me every bit of the times. I had a cop in an encounter that didn't even go on the record, damn near broke my hand for fun. And then when I went to the police to try to get the report, they said they never filed the report. And I said, okay, I know how that goes.
Right.
You don't file the report, then now we can't get this is a way to cover up the crime. I totally get that.
Yeah.
Right. But I also know that like my neighbors to the west, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mexicans. Okay. Now here's what I can say about what I've observed with Mexicans in Cook County. Before they'll put 3 generations in one crib. And they will lean on each other and share resources harmoniously for multiple years. I've observed this. That doesn't mean I can make definitive conclusions about the community, but I've observed this across Cook County numerous times over decades. Right. And I've oftentimes wondered, I wish we could do that. I wish black folks could get along with each other so much so that we could amass resources, live 3 generations in the same crib. Because the people to my west, they bought a 2-unit building. They made it a 1-unit building. And now there's 3 generations living harmoniously, stacking bread. That's a thing that I've observed with the Mexicans. So it's a generalization. It ain't nothing that I would say is scientific. It's just something I've anecdotally observed.
Well, we both from Chicago, so I get you.
Word.
But I'm from Inglewood. I don't know nothing about all.
My wife's from Inglewood.
So, Jen, what do you feel about the question I asked before? Because we're gonna go back.
I'm on your question. If you're a person that believes in race, right? White, black, Asian, right? If you're a person that
Thank you. There's 3. Thank you.
Okay, when someone says, "Are you mixed?" right? Because the black woman or the black man is lighter, they're scientifically correct. Right. So when they approach someone who's light skinned, it may be out of ignorance or they've never left their neighborhood. But if they say you mix, you pretty, you mix, they're scientifically correct if you're a believer in race. Right. Mm-hmm. And it's also about identity and labels. Right. Mm-hmm. People say I'm black. I don't care if I have a white mother. I identify as black. Guess what? You're not just black, though. You can identify as purple, green, or blue, but you're not just black.
In America, though, you kind of are.
Let me tell you why that's problematic. Because in America, right, I don't like black people who measure their blackness by how cops treat them. That's hella problematic. Because I've heard it used as a weapon as well. Oh, you light skin, wait till the cops show up. That's crazy to me. You cannot measure your blackness by how authority is going to treat you during an arrest. And like you, I've come across plenty of cops. I did my dirt. I've sold drugs. I grew up in the Bronx. I've got arrested. I stopped at gunpoint. You name it. But I refuse to give white people that power where they're going to measure my blackness by how they treat me. You can't do that. It's just not healthy. It's problematic. So yes, we're all mixed. I look like this is I'm mixed. My dad is as dark as King. My mom is even lighter than me.
Is he as handsome?
More handsome.
Thank you.
So can I respond to you, Jen?
So I'll wrap and then I'll throw it back to you.
Okay.
So it's about identity. When people say I'm black, you're black, people are thinking skin tone, Right? They're thinking skin tone. So if they see somebody, that's how they grew up thinking, I'm black. So when they see something lighter, they're like, how you black? Because I've been black all my life and I'm darker than you.
Right.
That's really where it comes from. So it's like, it's an ignorance, but it's a, in my opinion, it's an innocence behind the ignorance, right? Even though it hurts your feelings, like, what you mean? Why I gotta be mixed, right? It may hurt your feelings, but there's an innocence behind that ignorance, unless they're insulting you with it, which is different, right? But go ahead.
No black person has ever asked me if I'm mixed. It's always a non, in my opinion, because black people, we know that we come in different shades.
That's funny though, because someone said
I have been approached. It has been someone that was not what I would consider black, and they were like, "Are you mixed? Because I have long hair." No.
Yeah, Tawana. You know what's funny? You know what's funny? You know what's funny? Because in the chat, someone said, I think it was Jay Davila. She said, usually I get that question from black people. So you saying something totally different.
Yeah, I don't get that question from black people. I get that question.
She said she did. So that's why I was going to bring that up.
So that shows that shows
we got different experiences.
That the diversity
right.
of the Black American experience. This is what I'm talking about. Now, King, you asked a good question about why the certain black women get, are you mixed? If you're lighter, you get the beauty and everything. I demonize and I charge the American media system with being the main engine of these dynamics. Yeah. I'll have y'all know, Birth of a Nation came out in 1915, not the one that Bro did 5 years ago.
Right.
The first one with the blackface that lionized the Ku Klux Klan. That came out in 1915. Okay. It was aired in the White House, and it is in the Library of Congress for preservation. So as long, nearly for over 100 years, we've had problematic racial depictions in movies, advertisements, in our face, and there's no country in the world that bombards its populace with more media than the United States. There's no country in the world that consumes more media than the United States. Yeah. You know, a lot of people, they love The Wire. I fucking hate that show. Let me tell you why. Because I know a lot of cops, a lot of white cops who are walking around right now with racialized notions of black men, got them from the fucking Wire. Because I also know, let me tell you what I also know, and I've done the reading on this. Most people in America don't reach across the aisle. There are goo gobs of white people who've never had a conversation with black people, and there are goo gobs of black people who've never had a conversation with white people. So where do you think they come up with their idea of what a black person is or what a Latin person is? It's from the goddamn TV, the media, from the movies. Mm-hmm. Okay. And so we cannot walk around turning a blind eye to the effects of the media, especially when we live in a country where advertisers spend billions of dollars every year on advertising. If advertising and media consumption wasn't effective, companies wouldn't spend billions of dollars every year on it.
Okay, so let me drop some facts because we want to take it there. Hannibal, I'm going to ask you a very important favor. Can I get ignorant for 5 minutes, please?
Brother, hey, this is your show. You can get ignorant for the whole motherfucking thing.
This is not my show. This is. I'm going to get all the proceeds. You damn right, but it's not my show. All right, listen, it's our show. That's what a dirty pastor says when he wants to act.
I'm like Chef. Let me give you my my cash out. So
right. Hold on. So let me put these facts up. I like to put facts up, and I want your opinions. And Chef is going to be cooking very, very soon. So tell me what y'all think about these stats. Who would like to read? Chef, please let me get these facts up real soon. Okay. Let me show which one should I put. Let me do this one, and I'm going to say something ignorant, and I want to see how you're going to respond to it. Because within my ignorance, there's truth, right?
Come on, I'm ready. Because
let's speak.
That's right. We like it. We further that.
It's intelligent ignorance. All right.
Both languages. Let's hear.
All right, let's go. Let's speak these languages. Chef, would you mind reading this when it pops up? Don't mind me. I have this MacBook for years. MacBook Pro for years. Here it goes. Can you see it, brother?
Yeah, we good.
Thank you.
All right. So the college graduate education. The college graduation rate continues to rise for most women of color. Of total bachelor's degrees earned by U.S. citizens, women, and permanent residents in 2017 to 2018, the percentage of those earned by women of color, Hispanic women, 14.9%, Black women, 11.4%. This percentage has decreased since its high of 12.3% in 2011 to 2012. Asian Pacific Islander women, 7.6%.
They don't include Asians anymore when they do college statistics.
Right, they blend Pacific Islander women as well. That includes the Filipinos as well. All right, and Indonesia as well.
Absolutely.
So, of total bachelor's degrees in business earned by women in 2017 to 2018, the percentage of those earned by women of color, Black women, 11.5%, Hispanic women, 13.7%, and Asian Pacific Islander women, 8.1%.
Okay. I heard one time from a friend of mine, yes, Mayette, by the time Mayette came up here, Mayette, we're going to put you up, Mayette, real soon. I heard one time from a friend of mine, I'm not going to say what race, but you probably guess. And she says to me, it's so convenient that Latin girls become Black when it's time to apply for a scholarship. Well, we about to get spicy, right? Y'all thought I was playing with y'all, right? That's why I need you to relax a little bit because you're getting too intelligent right there. We got to get spicy.
I'm glad I had myself on mute. I'm glad I was on mute.
She said it's very convenient that Latin women are conveniently Black when it comes to scholarships, grants for like nonprofits or jobs. When it's time to claim the Afrocentric side and it benefits them, they do that. And then I had another girl tell me Latin women have been making tremendous strides because they do not want to live under the traditional sense of family that their mother had to endure. Talk to me, ladies. Talk to me. I need you to turn that ignorance into intelligence for people who are watching. Talk to me.
Well,
okay.
I would say there's so many damn variables. I would say I don't know any Latinas who pretend to be Black. Start there. Now I know Hannah was gonna say, "Hey, I know
somebody cut that off, please. Somebody press mute. We can't help this. It's very important. Press mute.
I gotta turn a.
Hold on. Let me move people down because I can't have the noise. All right. Thank you. Sorry for that, Jen.
No, that's okay. I don't know any Latinas in any environments I've been in who want to be Black or pretend to be Black for scholarships. Maybe that's a thing. I don't know. I don't know them. We're talking about our personal experiences. I've seen Latinas actually get insulted if you say that they're Black or think they're Black. And then there's a flip side. I've seen Black women tell Latin women, y'all are Black too, right? So there's two sides to it, right? Say like when the hurricanes happened in Puerto Rico and Trump was acting the ass in Puerto Rico, something I saw reoccurring and parroting online was, see, y'all Black too. Y'all Black too. Y'all just like us. Y'all Black too. So it depends on who you ask, I think, because some Black women will be like, yeah, they're as Black as us. And then some Black women will be like, why are they pretending to be us? So it depends on who you ask, because I've heard both things being in the middle. So it depends on who you ask. But I know Latinos, Dominicans, Puerto Ricans, Colombians, Cubans.
Right. But there's a difference though, Jen, because you're from New York. And Steph will always say a New York, Latin New York is a different type of Latin. It's not that we're like we all bang together.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's different. It's our whole life. Like it is what it is, right? Warner, what do you think?
I mean, if a person can physically pass for white, most of them claim white. I'm just gonna say the truth. If they cannot, if there's a chance that they can possibly pass, if it's going to benefit them, they're going to claim black. I mean, I've seen that, and I think that's real. I work in an industry where that happens. Mm-hmm. And the reason why is because certain benefits are for certain demographics and populations. And those benefits, you have to identify as that in order to be considered for the benefit, and people do it. It's absolutely true.
So she wasn't lying.
What'd you say?
She wasn't lying then.
No, I mean, it's a known fact. And you know that when it benefits, so for instance, if you're applying for a job and you can say that you're white, you're going to identify as white. Why would you identify as black when you know when you get in the door, you might not even get in the door because you identified that way? And some people's names can slide for, you don't know, like me, I'm Tawana. They know I'm black when I come through the door. I can say white if I want to, but they gotta know exactly who I am when I apply for a job. So some women of color, black women, get upset because we can't hide who we are. It is what it is. When you see us, we're black. We can't ever change our identity. I'm not on the spectrum. I'm black. Like, I can't say I'm white. If I come in the door, they're going to see what I am. And I think that, yes, when it benefits a certain and I'm not speaking toward I don't want to say that that's what happens all the time, but I know that there are some people who identify as white when it's to their advantage, identify as black when it's to their advantage. So yes, that happens. I don't know what else to say about it, but it happens. I don't know if it's a problem or if it's something that we should be overly critical of because we're all minorities. Sometimes the benefits are to benefit minorities or people who qualify for other reasons. It could be income eligible. It could be all those other factors that have to play a part as well. And just because I'm black don't mean I qualify for it. So,
Yeah, I think it goes to experiences sometimes because our shared experiences, because my sweetheart Amber Rose, right? She had that same issue in regards to she's Cape Verdean and Italian and a couple of different.
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
She's a couple of different races, but she says that she doesn't identify as an Afro. She doesn't identify as a black woman, even though she's majority black. She doesn't have the same experiences as a black woman, even though she is majority black, but she says that she doesn't consider herself a black woman. So she got into a lot of trouble with that. So I think this is kind of down that aisle that she just said, hey, forget it. I'm not going to identify as a black woman because I don't have the experiences.
Right.
But I am a black woman. So it's.
So
black or African, right? Because when you look at her, she's not American black. She's not black. She's obviously very, very mixed. So when someone says she's mostly black, where? Like her ass, her titties, like where?
Why are you saying?
Because she doesn't present as black. Mm-hmm. She doesn't present as black.
But she's
Mr. Best in the world. You have anything to say?
Contribute? People can get somewhere and pass.
Yes, I do.
Right. Yeah, okay. People can pass.
Mm-hmm. Mr. Best in the work, because we got
yes, sir.
Trying to get up here, so we want to make sure we get some people up here as well.
Definitely, I'm gonna keep it quick. Thank you. Peace to everybody on the panel.
Peace.
You know yeah, much love to everybody. Listen, you know, and this is just a natural fact, okay? You know, and this is why I love that my family's from the South, because the South people, they just keep it straight up. Okay, you either black or you white. They don't care what dialect you speak. They don't care what language you speak. If you're not white, they are going to let you know that you're not white. And sometimes they'll let you know that in a disrespectful manner. And sometimes they'll let you know in a not disrespectful manner. But they're going to let you know straight up what you are. You know what I'm saying? And my grandfather always say, from North Carolina, used to hunt, you know, he used to smoke his little cigarettes, play shoehorn, all that. He said, boy, he said, let me tell you something. He said, people who are not black, he said, that Caucasian man, he's going to tell you who you are. He's going to tell you exactly who you are. You're going to learn one day. And, as a kid, I used to be like, what is he talking about? Like, it was so over my head, But then once I got older and I started experiencing things as a man of African descent, I understood exactly what he was talking about. You know what I mean? Now, please understand, this comes from a man who, I have people in my family who are the shades of E. Black and King, and I have people who are the shades of Hannibal and you, Jen. I have an aunt that looks just like you, literally. Okay? It's my great aunt. You know what I'm saying? So, to me, there's only African culture and non-African culture, and that's really it. You know what I'm saying? To me, none of the other stuff exists. The only thing that separates us is our geographic location and our language. That's it. You know what I mean? So to me, everything else don't exist.
Somebody got noise in the background, please.
Me being from New York doesn't exist. Me being from Brooklyn, from Brownsville, that don't exist. I'm African. You know what I'm saying? That's all I am. Truly, in its purest form. We are all African. Me want to say I'm black or American and all that. None of that exists. Those are things. Those were definitions given to me by the colonizer and the oppressor. They don't exist. You know what I'm saying? So all that stuff when we want to claim, different territories, or you want to say, well, no, I'm not African. You know what I mean? I'm Mexican. I'm not African. I'm Puerto Rican. I'm not African. I'm from Texas, or I'm from California. Like we'll always try to run from who we truly are, but you can't. You know what I mean? Who you are is who you are. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, we're only separated by where we're from, as far as where we live and our language. You know what I mean? But most of our foods are the same. If you listen to our music, it all mostly sound the same. You can hear a song that's reggaeton, and you can hear a song that's R&B, and you're like, that song sounds exactly the same. Why? Because we're the same people. You know what I'm saying? It's no difference. You know what I mean? But they want to keep us separated because they know if we form up, we're gonna form up like Voltron, and we'll have more power than they ever wanted us to have.
Right.
And that's what they're afraid of.
In a perfect world, that is the case. But in the pragmatic, actual world, that's not the case. You spoke of Texas. Let me tell you about why one way Texas was in the news recently. They did some serious gerrymandering recently. Some serious gerrymandering. For people who don't know what that is, that's when you redraw district lines so you can focus political power. At the end of the day, when we go to see our maker, or when we cross over to the other side, yeah, we're all kind of the same. But while we walking around this planet, there's a lot of differences, and those differences define how resources are allocated at the federal, state, and local level. Okay, now I dropped a link.
Hold up, that's why I said Hannibal. You see how the ignorance turns to intelligence.
Word up.
I said the question. You hear what I said?
I do. You set it up, and I'm finna knock it down. Now look,
thank you.
I dropped a link in the chat. It's a New York Times article that was written in 2014. It cited how in the United States on the census, to the tune of millions, Latins were changing their racial designation from Hispanic, white, or Hispanic, black, or Hispanic non-identifying to Hispanic, white. So you can check that link. The link is in the comments. Okay.
Thank you.
The link is in the comments. I'm not just going to say some stuff without dropping some data whenever I can drop the data. And so what they said about, if you follow that article, what you're going to find is that it's largely a political thing. There's a concept in the socio-political sphere called white adjacency. So think about a white person from Spain, because we all like to disassociate Spain from whiteness and Europeans. Those are just Spanish-speaking Europeans. They're Spanish-speaking whites. Okay. So let me not get distracted. The point is this: if you come over to America and you're Mexican or you're Spanish or you're Venezuelan and you're very light, you are white adjacent. That means if you tap into whiteness and assimilate and embrace American culture and Eurocentricity, you will get access to those resources. And if you select Hispanic white on that census, and if your whole district, your neighborhood does that, guess what? Now it changes the political ecosystem. And that's really what it ain't just about how we interact with each other on the bus and on the L and on the train. It's about resources. It's about voting, because a lot of people
It's
vote.
about access.
Right. It's about access. So when you when you say why do some people is black when they fill out this scholarship application,
Thank you. You get it.
why they white, it's because some people have the adjacency to whiteness.
Wait, hold on.
Especially like one last thing.
Hannibal, did you say audacity or
adjacency?
Adjacency.
No, I know he said. You said audacity or adjacency. I know what he said.
Adjacency.
Audacity.
And,
Okay.
No, and I'm gonna conclude.
Yes.
But we're talking resources. At the end of the day, we're talking political leanings. We're talking and it's at the end of the day, it's a manipulation tool if you really think about it. Right. If you really think about it, it's a manipulation tool.
Okay.
And the last thing, I swear to God, in South Africa, they do the same thing with their Indian population. Indians in South Africa have gained status as black people, and that gives them access to grants, scholarships, and programs that are supposed to be going to the black people of South Africa. Right. It's the same game over there. It's the same game over here.
So with that being said, let me go to the next. Let me go to the next chart. And thank you, Mr. Best in World, for your commentary. I appreciate you.
Yeah, I just want to respond to him real quick.
Oh no, how quick? Because we got to go to.
It's super quick because I have to go as well. I have to jump on my show. But yes, I was gonna say that, Hannibal, before you jumped in, I was gonna say that the reason why we're separated is due to money, power, and resources. Through the money, through the land, and through all the resources, we're separated because they know that's how they ultimately, complete control and gain control and have control over us. With that, most love to all y'all. I gotta be out, and I'll be hitting all y'all up on social media. Later, y'all. Peace and love.
See you.
All right. So let me go to this one. I like what Hanifa said. Let me put this up first. Did I put it up? Is it good? Did you see? Do you guys see it?
No.
Okay. Hanifa said, "Why are we so afraid of differences? Our differences are not the issue.
No.
It's the lack of respect for them. Right? It's the lack of respect for them." So I got another chart coming up, and it should be coming up. It deals with. Chef, can you read this, please?
I love that. I love what Hanifa said. That's how I feel.
Can you see it, Chef?
Yes. Women of color have a greater wage gap. Based on full-time earnings in 2019, for every dollar white non-Hispanic men earned, Asian women earned 90 cents. However, the wage gap is substantially larger for some subgroups of Asian women. For example, Nepalese women, 50%, Burmese women, 52%,
right.
Fijian women, 53%, and Cambodian women, 57%, are paid well below the earnings of white non-Hispanic men. Black women earned 63 cents. Latinas earned only 55 cents. Native Hawaiian and Pacific Islander women earned 63 cents. Native American women earned 60 cents. Women of color are disproportionately represented in low-wage and essential jobs. Roughly 60.3% of maids and housekeepers, 50.3% of nursing assistants, and 45.7% of personal care aides are women of color. Within these occupations, more than half of home health aides are Black women. Nearly 70% of maids and housekeepers are Latinas. Among all employed women of color, the largest percentage work as cashiers, registered nurses, and elementary and middle school teachers.
Okay. So my question is, why is there such a tension between the Latin and Black women? And when it seems like to me, in regards to the wage gap, it's a woman thing.
There's tension between.
It's a lot. It's a lot of tension. I want to say why.
Okay.
I heard many Latin women that I've dated say to me a lot of times, "I've been going through this all my life. Black women hating on me because I date Black men." This is a fact. I'm not making this up. This is not anecdotal. This is a fact.
No, I'm listening.
Yeah. So where's this tension coming from? Because it seems like based on the wage gap, Maybe I need to. Maybe there's a disconnect in relationships and romance, but there's no disconnect socioeconomically.
Can I jump in here?
Yeah, please.
Um, if a black woman is left by her black man for a Latina, right? It doesn't matter if the Latina is a maid and she makes 500K a year. Money has nothing to do with it. The wage gap has nothing to do with it.
Okay.
Going back to the essence of it, it's colorism. It's the diaspora. It's the feeling like that he left me because she's lighter or she talks Spanish. That's where it comes from. When there is tension, right? When there is tension. I grew up in New York. You know, half my family is Latin, the other half is Black. So, but I saw this with the explosion of social media. The past 10 years on social media, I've gotten into debates and arguments with Black women where I was like, what are you even talking about? I can't relate to this type of debate or argument because this is not how I grew up. So whatever you went through, wherever it was, I'm not familiar with it. But that doesn't mean that I can ignore it. There is a tension in that sense where, and I'm not saying all, but Black men have made it a point to uplift other women that weren't quote unquote Black or visibly Black or aesthetically Black. So if you're constantly being told by the men you desire, she's better, she's better, she's better, she's better, there's going to be this tension that happens before you even get to speak to me and learn my experiences, right?
Hold on. You see that what Natalie wrote? Maybe that tension is created by us men. Maybe we create that tension.
A lot of it is.
Do y'all agree with that?
Say again?
Do the ladies agree with that?
I agree with that.
We create the tension. The men create the tension between Latin women and Black women.
I think they create a lot of it, yes, because women desire you all.
Yeah.
Black women desire you all, right?
Yeah.
And it's when I see it most prevalent in Black communities. Black women uplift, uphold, desire, worship Black men. So when they're rejected by Black men, all hell breaks loose. And I see it most prevalent in Black communities. Like in Latin communities, we don't uphold our men like that. We just don't. We're not like, oh my God, my Puerto Rican man left me for a Black woman or a white woman. We don't care where you go. We don't care. I've never in my life, from when I was a little girl, had a conversation in a group of Puerto Rican women, and they were talking about, mira, he left me for a white woman, or he left me for a Black woman. We don't give a damn. But with Black women and Black men, it's personal because they desire you. They desire you very much. So when you're constantly hearing something you desire put you down, it's going to create tension with somebody that looks like me or somebody white, because she already has a preconceived notion. Y'all are here to take on men, right? And I think that's where it happens. And again, por Dios, not all.
Right. You know, it's funny.
Y'all gonna line up the comments. I know.
Right.
But that has been my experience from what I see from dating Black men and hearing what they said, not what I said, but hearing what they say about Black women. I am not a Black man who dates Black women, so I can't speak for him or his experiences. All I can do is listen and hear, like, okay, all right. You know, and in the back of my mind, I'm like, your mama Black, you know, like everybody else.
Right. So here's my thing. And Maya, I want you to speak. Jaylin, I want you to speak. So when I made the title today, Black versus Latin woman, what is the issue? Maybe the issue stems from men. Maybe we pitch against each other. Maybe it's our fault. Would you elaborate, Wanda, Mayette, and Jaylin? Would you?
Let me say something because I am about to log off, and I appreciate this conversation.
Thank you.
And Jen is amazing. Hannibal, I'm so mad that I didn't get to tell him he was amazing.
No, he said thank you. He had to go.
Yes,
he said thank you, and you know Hannibal loves all y'all.
Yes, and you know, of course, King, you live up to your name.
Thank you.
For sure. I think that for sure colorism plays a huge part in it because, right, you know, those women who are lighter, who are considered more attractive and you know, when a man in our community leaves us for that, you know, it is a direct blow to us. Like, we're not good enough, right? You're going with what the society says about Black women, that Black women aren't valuable, we're not good enough, and you have to leave outside of your community to find a good woman. And I think that's some mentality, right? That's some people's mentality. But I don't even know if Black men see how much colorism affects their decisions and who they choose to partner with and who they choose to be with. Not saying all Black men, because 83% marry within their race. I'm not saying that all Black men are like that. There are some Black men who feel like Black women aren't good enough, and we aren't good enough because of the color of our skin. Sometimes that's the sole purpose. We're too dark, or we're not, you know, we're not pretty enough. Our features aren't soft enough. You know, we're not feminine enough. We're not this, we're not that. And so they feel like they have to go outside of the race in order to get those things that they consider, you know, feminine and woman-like. And that is a blow to us. And everything that Jen said, you know, regarding, you know, how men choose and why men choose, and how, you know, Black women feel when they do choose. And I don't know if that's all Black women. I'm going to say that some of us feel that way. Like she said, I don't have the sign, but some of us feel that way when Black men date outside of their race. Some of us don't care, you know, because we don't, it doesn't matter to us if you leave me for a Latino woman, a white woman, an Asian woman, I'm going to feel the same. If it's another Black woman, I'm still going to be hurt. So I don't know if that's for all women, but I do understand that colorism exists. Men perpetuate that. They, you know, they have this idea that the lighter you are, the better you are. They make you feel like you're prettier than other Black women who aren't as, you know, who are lighter, who are, you know, darker than you. So I think that you all do play a part in that whole, you know, whatever, right? Like, and I gotta go. I'm sorry.
Wanda, we love you.
Hey,
Thank
all right,
you.
Tawana.
The
Nice
mother,
meeting.
the mother of all this. Thank you.
Yeah.
Mayat?
Yeah, so I think it is partly because of Black men, but I think it also becomes perpetuated by the women. So a lot of times when there are women involved and the woman has the prize in a sense, she also bigs herself up and says, well, I got the prize. And this happens even with Black women. So if a Black man leaves a Black woman for another Black woman, then that woman feels like she has the prize. If she feels like she's won. So a lot of times it's not just the Black man, it's also being perpetuated by the Black woman. And so we already have the issues within our community, but what's different is the woman who is outside of that culture, she feels, well, I'm not going to say what she feels like, but what it looks like. And from what, in my experience, well, I haven't had a personal experience where, you know, a man left me for another cultural woman, but in my experience around people I know from where I'm from the South. So in the South, it's a bit different. But from what I've seen is that the women are not, are in essence, they're thinking that they're better, or they feel they have like this hierarchy over Black women. And so what it happens is it perpetuates it. So instead of the woman saying, hey, let's keep it about, because most women are not going to do that anyway, but let's keep it about the fact that you left her because maybe she wasn't treating you right or whatever, it becomes Black women are this, and those stereotypes are perpetuated, and then it continues to be perpetuated by the woman who is outside of the culture, and or outside of our race, or who is not Black, who doesn't see it, and she has that kind of that hierarchy. So what I've seen living in from being from Louisiana is that you see that you don't see a lot of women, Latino women, who are actually hanging with the black girls or the black women, you see them kind of gravitating to the white girls. And then you see a lot of them bleaching their hair. You see a lot of them kind of trying to look white, like white women, as opposed to, if you really want to really like keep it real,
Right.
that whole color or that whole mixture comes from the blackness. And I know that a lot of people don't, or people who are in the you know, in the Latino or whatever, they don't want to really talk about that cultural whatever, that mixture comes from the blackness. Just like when you have the Native American, or the Native American that you see today, is not just, they didn't just happen to pop up. It was a mixture that happened that created the Mongoloid. So in essence, Africans were already here, but then you have, you know, where you get the $5 Indian and all that kind of stuff. So it's really about the perpetuation from the woman that keeps it going. Because if we said, you know, you really got my back, then you would say, hey, why are you talking about black women like that? Or why are you talking about this woman that you were with, or that you lay with, or who is the mother of your child, or whomever? And then it would kind of put men in check to not put another culture. And there's women of other races who come around black men because they know that they're going to be treated a certain way. So when she's even when Jen said that they don't think of their men like we think of our men, I don't necessarily think it's a worship, but culturally and universally, black men have become like kind of the it. Like everybody is kind of at this point trying to grab for black men. And so in essence, just like you said, King, like when someone called you a god, that's what we see our men as at this point, especially through our awakening and our enlightened
It was
stages.
a white
And
woman
look,
that did that.
I know you said that,
Yeah.
but that's what, even if we don't say that, it's what we see. Like I was from pre-K all the way to 6th grade, I was around nothing but white people when I was going to school. Now my cousin was around nothing but white people too. We went to the same school. He chose to be with a white woman, but when I saw black men or black boys, I was just like, oh, that was the best. That was something amazing for me to see black boys. It doesn't matter. It didn't matter where I was. Black boys to me were just, they were the thing. So I think it has to, it's a lot having to do with the culture. I do have one question
Yes.
that I would like to ask Jen, because in the chat they were saying that she was saying that I think they say she was on Tariq's show a year ago and said that black people needed to stop whining because it was like a scab. Can you explain that?
Yeah, absolutely. First, I want to address Keisha. Hi, Keisha. Yes, you're correct. She said that the Puerto Rican women kill anybody for their papi. That is true. What I was saying was though that those conversations aren't had in our community. Like, oh, he's leaving us for another race. Like it happens in the black community. Like if he leaves, he leaves. But we never like put race on it. Like he left me for a black woman or a white woman. That's what I meant. But yes, we will cut somebody for our men. Ma'at. The Tariq thing, I hate discussing it because I think he's one of the biggest clowns on the internet. And here's what I said verbatim, and it's still on my Instagram. I did not take it down, and it happened about a year ago. But because, how they say the YouTube streets are small, when people see me, they keep bringing it up. But this is what I said verbatim. The video is still up. I did not edit it. I did not delete it. It is still up on my page. I did kind of like a PSA. I never used the word wine. I did a PSA and I said, black people have to stop using their blackness in this country as a scab that they let people easily pick off. Like I can say something to you, I can wear something, I can date somebody, and it affects your blackness. Well, that was exactly what I said. I mean, it's a longer video. It's about 10 minutes or so, because I don't like seeing it. And I said it as an ally. what Tariq did was he went to my page. I didn't know him prior to. He went to my page. He took a soundbite, like he does, because he needs content. We all need content for our shows. He took a
No,
sound.
hold on. We don't need content. We are the content.
No, but we need content.
No, we are the content.
Right. So he used me as content for his
exactly, because he doesn't have content. All right.
Right. So he went to my page. I guess he goes on Instagram, just look for people saying stuff or people tagging him. So what he did was he went to that video and took a sound bite and did a whole hour on me. So when a lot of people were hitting me like, oh, do you know Tariq such and such is talking about you? I was like, who? You know what I mean? I'm not, this was before I was on YouTube and all of that. And I was like, who? So then I went to his page and I saw, and I kept fucking with him so he could get me on, so he can talk to me, so we can talk about what he said I said. And then that blew up. But if you guys are interested, go to my page On the Block with Jen. I explained the entire thing. But
and
yeah,
Jen, so let me ask you.
A year ago.
So you don't have to answer this if you don't want to, but do you have like a black parent, or you have black in your family?
He's like black's complexion. He's in between.
But is he black? Like, is he African or black or?
No, he doesn't identify as Black American. He's Puerto Rican. He's an Afro Latino, as they say, but he's complexion wise, he's in between King and black.
Well, there's Indians who are black's color. So it's more about what you identify as, because you know the what's his name?
I don't know if y'all shooting slugs at me or
no, I'm not shooting slugs at you.
I feel like the lonely crayon in the back of the carton, man. Like y'all.
But it's more about what you identify as, because you can be black, you can be, you know, I identify as a black woman, but there's other women who look like me who have blackness in their family and don't identify as that. So it's more of the identification, because as an African living in America, if you identify as that, then that, you know, there are certain things that you do, there's certain things that you say, there's certain things that you believe, there's certain ways that you act. And so I'm just, you know, kind of understanding. I guess you want us to look at the video for more context.
If you're interested in some bullshit that Tariq Nasheed said, of all people.
Well, with Tariq Nasheed, I understand. I don't agree with everything that he says or does. Just like there's nobody that I agree with everything. There are master teachers in the Black community, and I don't agree with everything that they say or do, but I do know that he has done work for the community. So I'm not gonna say that whether he's right or wrong, because I think even the beef that he has with different people in the Black community are wrong. But at the same time, I can't dismiss everything that he did. I don't agree with everything Martin Luther King Jr. did, but I'm not gonna throw him away and say he's a bad dude because he did certain things.
I'm just curious, what has he done for the community? Because I hear a lot of people say that, and I know he sells flags, t-shirts, and carrying keychains. But what has he done for the community? Because I hear that a lot.
Well, even just giving people knowledge. He was one of the first people that was giving us knowledge about who we really are. Who was if you just watch his hidden colors videos, that's something for the community. You know, that was something that he did for the community. So, you know, like I said,
one of the first people?
Huh?
One of the first people out of all the Black activists?
No. I didn't say he was one of the first people that did it. I said he was one of the first people that put it out there for a mass number of people to get, because everybody does not pop open a book, but somebody can go and they can listen to something and they can listen to knowledge, and it's going to help them. It's about how you ingest your knowledge. Everybody does not ingest knowledge the same way. This knowledge has been out there for years, but some of our parents didn't even get to the knowledge because it wasn't easily accessible to them, or they didn't go searching for it. It has been master teachers who have been working hard since the 70s, 80s, but it's about how you ingest it. So I can say that he's actually done that. Like I said, I don't agree with everything that Tariq Nasheed does. I don't agree with a lot of people who are in the Black community doing certain things. I mean, even a lot of people don't like Dr. Umar Johnson, I'm sorry, Dr. Umar Johnson. But I can say that every time I listen to him, I learn something. Right. So it's about how you're ingesting that.
Right. So
he put a DVD out. That's what he did for the Black community. So we're clear. He put a DVD out educating you.
So yeah, I mean, now you're dumbing, you're dumbing it down.
I just you do something for the Black community. It's all he's ever done. Not a movie.
I'm sorry, because just to stay on point, because we're going away from the title of today.
I know, and that's why I hate that subject. But people are like, "Oh yes, I can't."
Yeah, but this, just in all fairness, and I always say it. I said it before. In all fairness, let's stick to the title of today's discussion because it wasn't fair to Jaylene because she's been waiting to go in regards to the title. But also, in all fairness, and I say this all the time. We as people have to understand two things. We should make sure we review all context behind the situation before we make comments about it. That's one. And two, we should also be aware that whether you love a person or you don't love a person, if a person attacks someone, they have the right to defend themselves. I really believe.
That's why I asked the question, Ken.
Yeah, I know. That's why I said you asked the question.
Because people were putting in the comments, and I was just asking a question.
No, I know. I'm saying to the chat because you're posing a question, but I'm looking at the chat right now, and people are saying things about her. And one, I said it. Did you go and look at the entire context behind what she said, or you just looking at his video, right? And two, whether he's right or wrong, if someone feels attacked, they're going to attack back. They're going to attack back. If someone attacks you, Maya, you're going to attack back. You're going to attack back, and you might guess what? That person might be right about you or wrong, but they have a way of for someone to make a video about you. And the value, like you felt that she was devaluing him by saying, "Oh, it's just a DVD," right? He defended himself already. She defended herself. This is a year ago. Why didn't they do that? Why didn't they deal with that when it happened? Why are they using my platform to address this?
Well, because she's on your platform right now, and so it's a valid question, King.
I never said it wasn't valid. I said, why are you addressing on my? I just want to finish the topic. Like we went off on tangents a lot of times, but you wait. She has her own YouTube.
Okay.
She had her own YouTube. That's what I'm saying. But just like the same thing I tell Darrell sometimes, like, or E Black, why please don't do it on my platform. Ask that question on her platform or Tariq's platform. Because it doesn't stick with the question itself. You're not wrong, Maya. I'm gonna ride for you forever. I'm just saying maybe the timing was off. Maybe we should just stick to this. Let's stick to this. Because Jaylene,
I think it was very much a part of this, though.
How?
I think that was
how her Tariq thing was a part of this.
I was asking a question based on if you're saying that we are whining and we wear it as a scab, but you're also talking.
That's what you believe.
Jen, you have to make up. Let her finish. Jen, hold on.
That's how we communicate.
Jen, let her finish. Let her finish. I'm sorry, Maya. Go ahead. You didn't finish.
So. It was, first of all, it was a question. I was asking a question. Just like when I was in junior high school and this girl wrote a letter about me and it was in her handwriting, but and she was one of my closest friends. I went and I took her the letter and I said, "Did you write this?" And she looked at me and with all those terrible things that she had on that letter, she said, "Yes, I did write it." And then I knew that I could not trust her any longer. I still talked to her. I still kicked it with her. We went to high school together. We were well, I wouldn't say she was my friend, but I still knew at that point she was not someone I could trust. So if we're having conversations and King, at the end of the day, I'm about the Black community.
Absolutely.
I'm about the Black community. I'm about building up the Black community. But there are people in the Black community, there are people outside the Black community that I have to look over my shoulder at. And so it was a question, and I feel like it was a valid question, because we are talking about Black issues and Black men. And so I'm just gonna leave it there. So if you don't feel like it was a valid question, I'm
No,
leaving
no,
it alone now.
I never said that. My words were exactly. I said the timing. I said the timing.
Well,
I said the time. I
King,
said
I don't think that's fair, and I'm kind of feeling a
no,
little
no. I mean,
picked on
no,
here.
Maya, you can feel whatever you want to feel, but once again, she doesn't represent all Latinas. She doesn't.
Right, I
And
understand that.
hold on,
I know she doesn't.
Maya, and you don't represent all Black people. We don't
I
always
get
have to agree,
that.
but I'm being respectful and saying at the end of the day, the first question you said had everything to do with the topic, and then you went to this particular question that was something,
Don't men get on here and do the same
and
exact thing?
it's not right
And
either.
y'all go for hours.
But, but,
I was just, and
Maya,
I feel like,
Maya, it's
okay.
not right
I'm
either.
done.
Maya, it's not right either. I said lately the last 3 shows. If you watch the last 3 shows, I've been staying on point because I know we go off in tangents. But one thing I will say is that issue that you had and other people had with her, my thing is this.
I don't have an issue. It was a question.
I'm not screaming. I'm saying to you, the question was based on the fact that to what? Okay, you asking that question, what does it do?
It lets us know, because there were other people who were asking. It lets us know if what she's about. That's it. It just lets us know. That's all.
So the question basically lets you know what she's about. Maya, what is that coded for? It means that can we trust her word? That's what we can't trust her word. That's what you're saying.
If there was a Black woman on here who said something about Black men, I would question what she said about Black men, period.
Right. So she said about that particular Black man.
No, it wasn't about Black men. She said about all Black people. She said Black people. She just said what she said. It wasn't just about a Black man. It was about Black people, period.
Okay, she said that. And the number one thing is I never saw it. Right? I never saw it. And did you see the full video that she had?
I'm sorry.
Did you see the full video?
No, I asked a question. I think you're missing the point that I asked the question.
No, I know you asked the question, but I always said, do you know the full context before you ask that question?
No, that's why I asked it.
Maybe I'm saying it. I'm saying it wrong.
No, you guys.
Can I respond? Can I respond?
No. Let's just say like this. The question kind of led up into the situation, and the ladies want to discuss it. And yeah, this kind of makes it seem as if we're having a back and forth. But what King is really just saying, let's agree to disagree with the flow of the conversation, right? Is that okay?
Look, yeah, I gotta say something on this, right?
A lot was said. Can I respond?
Wait, let me just say, no, I got you, Jen. Trust me. Just trust me real quick, right? Because I kind of been laying in the cut, and it's not this thing here. I know people are talking stuff. I'm not here just to be cooking and give showtime. You understand what I'm saying? I'm here for this platform, and I want the people that's on the platform to be able to shine. And like I told y'all, I know when I'm smart enough to just shut the F up, right? So let me just say this from what I see, and then you guys could just go and run it from there. From what I see is this, and I might piss some people off, take it if you will. You know that statement that Tariq, that he highlighted that Jen said, right? Here's the funniest thing about it, and this is real. That's the first time I ever saw somebody non-Black or ever heard somebody non-Black say it. I heard that statement from our brothers and sisters before. Whenever a new movie comes out, right? Whenever a new movie comes out that depicts slavery and some sort of and the horrors that we had to deal with within our past, the exact term is, why do we have to rip off the scab again? I've never heard it. The first time I ever heard it from a non-Black person was when Jen said it, right? Okay. That speaks volumes. we living in a society at this point where I could say a million things and feel a million things about my people. But if someone who's of a different ethnicity witnesses, is in proximity and witnesses and sees the same things, they're not allowed to speak on it, right? Now, I'm just talking up a fact. I didn't give an opinion, but I'm talking up a specific fact. I never heard that. I only heard that from my folks about pulling off the scab. Now, I would say, Jen, obviously, we understand that when you walk into a room, of course, we always supposed to study the room. You get what I'm saying? We study the room. And the thing is, I know you ain't stupid. I know you studied the room. The thing is, you're a gangster. You're a G about yours. Broad Street. You get what it is, right? So I understand. So you came in prepared to take whatever you were prepared to take. So I don't have to tell you, hey, you understood what it was, all right? And I do respect the fact that you stood on your word, even though folks may not agree with it. You stood on your word, you know, and you were G about yours and that. I come back now when I say, Mayat, I understand 100% where you're coming from, okay, in terms of your sensibilities, in terms of how you feel about it, in terms of the social construct, in terms of the historical resonance of it, right? The thing is, here's what happened. Just only in this particular situation, it almost felt as though the chat kind of drove you there, because there was a lot of Tariq, scab. And then what I'm thinking took place in terms of some of the chat, what I'm thinking took place is that when you introduced it into the conversation, it was almost like a gotcha. You get what I'm saying? And it didn't seem like it fit within the flow of where we were going, I think. So that's what I'm seeing took place. You get what I'm saying? I'm not saying that's what King is saying. I'm just speaking from third person, what Chef is saying. You know, it seemed that it came from around the corner. You get what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
I hear you. That's why I asked the question.
Uh-oh, we quiet.
Can you hear me?
Yes. So yeah, that was the only thing that I'm saying.
I don't get this.
You don't get what?
I don't get this. I don't get this. People can say they ask questions on they want, and I'm gonna say this, and I hope no one takes it the wrong way, especially my yak, because every time a black man doesn't want to agree with a black woman, then we're not protecting them or we're attacking them. And I want to say one thing. I don't agree with that question. It's a question, but it's a leading question. That's sometimes worse. To me, I felt, that's my feeling, that it was a leading question. And sometimes a leading question is worse than a statement, because you already knew what she said. If based on what you said, I never said it. That man made that thing, and she said it. So you already knew how she felt or what she said about our people.
No, I wanted clarification. I just wanted to understand because I didn't. I haven't heard it. So
Oh, you
I
never
was just
heard it?
no. I was asking what the statement meant. That's what I was asking.
Can I respond?
Yeah, you should respond. But I'm just saying, for me personally, if someone said that, and I think what Chef was saying, if people were saying that she said something like that before I approached her or asked a question, I would have did my research, and then I would have asked that question, because you probably got your answer without even asking that question during the show that we're trying to go to. And then when you said to me, well, the men go for tangent all the time. That's why we created Conversation with Queens, so you could set a better example. And I've been trying to stay on point ever since Conversation with Queens came on. I've been on point because I'm following your example, because I got tired of going tangents. But nonetheless, I rest my case. I don't want to say anything, because I don't want people saying I'm not protecting black women when I just don't agree. You go ahead, Jen.
Okay, I'll say this. First of all, Ma'at and I are not enemies. We are not enemies. We don't know each other. There's no beef. There's no smoke. I'm well aware that on YouTube, people like drama, just like reality shows, just like life, right? We hear people arguing outside. Everybody runs to the window, right? So let's start there. Her and I are not enemies. We are equal women with issues and questions. But I know, and we said it a million times in the chat, this is a triggering conversation. It's a triggering conversation. Everybody can't have this conversation without the PTSD popping up. So I want to address two things. I don't want to be long with it. You said that your friend wrote a letter in her handwriting. So you had tangible evidence that a woman said certain things about you in her handwriting. You didn't grant me that. You took a bunch of chats from people that don't know me, that I don't know, that like drama, that like to see the smoke, and then you brought me their dialogue. You even misquoted me, right? So that's one part of it. You said that we were whining. You knew it was a confrontational question. The chat probably triggered you, and that's okay. I'm validating you because we're all triggered by something, right? But it was confrontational. And you're smart, you know that. It was confrontational. It was going to lead us somewhere else. And that's why I don't mind repeating what I said, because people in the chat like, expose her, say, expose who? The video is still on my page. My response to Tariq Nasheed is still on my YouTube. You got to look a year ago. You got to scroll and scroll and scroll, depending on how interested you are in what I said, but it's there. So I'm not hiding from anything. So I don't know what the exposure, I'm right here. I'm not denying anything. The video's up. And the last thing I want to say is this. When King asked you, why did you want to know whatever, and I'm paraphrasing, it wasn't verbatim, but he basically was asking you, why do you want to know? You stumbled. You know why you stumbled to answer? Because it doesn't matter.
Okay, I have to stop.
Wait, let me finish, because I'm going to wrap after this.
I don't like people saying what I'm feeling or what I think.
Okay, but you can answer after this. I'm just saying what I saw, because I'm on the receiving end of your question and I have a right to respond. Okay, I'm on the receiving end. So there was no answer because you stumble when someone asks you, what does it matter? I could be sitting here, let's use your word, whining. I said Black people were whining about their Blackness. Let's say I said that. Let's say I hate Black people. Let's say that. Now, I know somebody can take that soundbite and say, look, she said I hate Black people. I know how this works, right? But let's just use your word. You said that we were whining. Let's say I said that. Who cares? Why do you care how I feel about Black people? You don't have to trust me. You and I will never cross paths. We're not going into war with each other. I'm not going to take your man. I'm not going to raise your children. I'm not going to work with you. Why do you really care? And that's another question I asked during that video when I discussed the scab. There are people that are much too much concerned with outside influences and conversations because they're where their Blackness is a scab, and being oppressed is part of their identity. Being oppressed is part of their identity. So when they can't complain about being Black, they're, what am I going to do? So it was a leading question. It was confrontational. But that is why I said it. So I don't care about the chat. I don't care about the people that want to see the smoke, protect Black women from this Latina. I don't care about that. I don't care. Because at the end of the day, like I always say, we're going to log off, do our laundry, take care of our family, and make dinner. So you really have to ask yourself, not me, not what I said about Black people. You have to ask yourself, Ma'at, why do you care what I said? Why do you care? You have to give me something tangible. Well, I care what you said because we're friends. Well, I care what you said because you're my sister. Well, I care what you said because I'm making money with you. You have to give me a reason why you care what I said. And there is no actual logical reason. It's just a triggering question. I understand that you were triggered. I forgive you for it. I've been triggered. But it was not cool. In my opinion, I'm on the receiving end. I get to say it wasn't cool. It wasn't cool. And putting words in my mouth.
Okay. So I didn't know exactly what you said, so I asked the question. I'm not going to be long because I don't want to go back and forth. But I stumbled because I was trying to be respectful. Because at the end of the day, whether you think we wear our oppression or not, because I don't wear my oppression, but I face facts. And I do feel like you're being belligerent right now. And after this, I'm going to go.
Okay.
But my people come first, period. And anybody who walks in the room, whether it's my house or wherever it is about my community. So I asked the question and I stopped myself because I was trying to be respectful, because I didn't want to flat out say, I asked you that because I needed to know if you were to be trusted in our community. There are a lot of things that you have said, and they're blanketed statements that shows me, and it points to the perpetuation that comes from other cultures. Black women, they act a certain way when it comes to Latino women, or when it comes to Asian women, or when it comes to Indian women, or it comes to other women. That's what you feel, that's what you think. I don't have those issues. I have a Black man that I'm married to, and we've been married for 14 years, and he loves Black women. I have never dated anyone who actually dated other women except for Black women. So it was not even about any of that. It was just about the statement that I just wanted clarification on. Because at the end of the day, what I do is for my community. I do it for the person I look in the mirror at every day. I do it for the Black man that I look at every day. I do it for my Black children. And we have had too many times, time and again, and whether this channel is about building our community up or not, it's about the people. There are people in this chat who are for building the community. So whether it's King, Chef, E-Black, or whomever, they might not even care about building the community. But there's some people in this chat who are. And out of respect, I'm going to end there. And y'all have a great night.
Have a good evening, Maya.
Peace, man.
Jalen, you could go, please.
You're on mute. You're on mute. You're on mute.
Hi, can you hear me?
Now we can.
I wanted to ask about the $5 Indian, but she left because I wasn't sure what that was. Um, does anybody know what the $5 Indian thing was?
What is the $5 Indian? What is that?
I don't know.
Does anybody know? But y'all don't want to say. Chef, you know a lot. What does the $5 Indian mean?
I'm gonna pass on that one. I'll let somebody take it.
Well, no, what does the $5 Indian mean? For real, we're here to learn. We're not here to. This is an open discussion. Whether you're trying to build a Black community or you're trying to do whatever to the Black community, the whole point of this is for open discussion. And I'm not gonna censor anybody. I was just trying to stick to the topic at hand. So my thing is, what is the $5 Indian? What is that? I want to know so nobody's talking bad about me or my friends.
Basically, white people had the opportunity to pay $5 to basically have Indian, to be able to receive Indian reparations. So pretty much what that ties into is it ties into the co-opting of different missions or co-opting of different programs that were meant for specific groups of people. Like they say that the civil rights movement was co-opted when they started adding pieces and addendums with the term people of color as opposed to Black people. Same thing with the $5 Indian. People were able to pay $5 in order to get land. Okay, and they pretty much co-opted. That's why there's a lot of people that claim, that tend to claim indigenous, tribal, genetics when it's not the case at all.
Oh, Oh no, let's get to 200 likes, man.
Okay.
Jalen,
And I kind of forgot the question a little bit because I was listening.
right.
Um,
King
The
is down.
question.
Don't be down. Come on.
I'm not down. I just really love my yacht.
he,
And what happens is I don't ever want her feeling away. But what I'm not gonna do is change the mission statement and the ethos of my channel, which was to never censor anybody that could have their point, but also to come to a solution. Anything discussions or questions have to come to a solution. If
Yeah.
you already knew the answer already, and I always believe you should know the context because I don't know what's going on. But you know what, Jalen, it's your floor. I'm sorry. I apologize. Thank you, my love.
so I feel like some things play on stereotype, and when you look at stereotyping and how everybody is, set up, Black women are at the bottom. So when Black men are, or Black women feel Black men are pedestalizing these other women, it gets gaslighted by those other women because we can't pretend that we don't hear. And this is not a shot at anybody. I'm gonna try to be nice because yesterday I think some people took things as shots. But um, when you hear those things, I lived in a community, a lot of Spanish females, and because they feel they're being pedestalized because Black women are at the bottom, they gaslight it, right? And it makes a problem even bigger. So if I were to say, it's the same thing when you turn it on the men, right? Because when you talk about women, it get a little hot. So I always like to turn it back to the men. When you turn it on to men and you pin a Black man up against a white man, the I'm sorry, the one who is looked at by the world as the bottom is the one who is in defensive mode, right? So it's like when a Black woman leaves a Black man for a white man, it's like that Black man in some way has to, and I don't know why, has to get put down. And I think that's what men do. Like if a Black, you got a Black woman and a Black man, and that Black man leaves that Black woman for a Latino or a white person, it's like the men sometimes, and I've experienced it, put the Black woman down so that he can pedestalize her. And I think we do that across the board and all over. We do that, right? I had a white, I've dated white, and he put down white women, and I didn't like it. You like me, you like me, but you don't have to put down your own culture, people, however you want to look at it, to date me. So I think we kind of, and it goes across the board. And as far as the comment that was made about um, Latina not getting mad when they're men, that's they may not say it in a way that Black women may express, but it is a stinger, right? And it's more of like the morena thing, or um their belief that, oh well, she's not gonna cook and clean and raise a family because they gaslight the stereotypes. So it may not come out in words exactly like that, but I've been around the Spanish community for a very long time, and it comes out in their culture and what they believe. And if you leave a Spanish woman for a Black woman, trust me, they're talking. So I didn't think that statement was 100% accurate, although I respect it, but I have heard when, you have Latinas and it's the whole, they're confused. Like, you left me for a Black woman? Like, what? So
Look, I gotta jump in. I gotta jump in because I appreciate you dropping that in, Jalen. I'm gonna say this to our folks and to our garden. When we curated, not came up with, when we curated this particular conversation today, we understood the inherent issues that it could bring up. We understood the level of vitriol it could potentially create. We understood that. We understood that it was not going to be an echo chamber of Latina and Black saying the same shit. That's not what we do. The whole point was the conversation about the ugly shit that can normally cause a fight when people are sitting together. The whole point was creating a ring, a garden, not a ring, because it's not a fight. Creating a garden party scenario so we can actually have this conversation. All right. We understood the racial dynamic of what our garden looks like right now. We get it. So what you thought we was gonna bring a punk in here to have the conversation with you? I mean, come on. You thought we were gonna bring a punk in here to have the conversation with you? No, it wasn't like that. Somebody came in. Wait. Somebody came in that's here. They speak the way that they speak. They have a level of gumption. They have a level of fuera, whatever you want. All right. And she came in to have the conversation. Right. Look, it wasn't, the show would be garbage if everybody just sat there and agreed, because then we wouldn't get to the real points. It had to get to where it is, and I'm going to use a term. We had to pull up the both scabs in order for this thing to happen. So I know some folks feel a certain way. Some folks are going to be in your feeling, and it's like that. But the thing is, if you really, for real, FR feel like you needed to have a conversation, this is the way the conversation looks. This is the way it looks. You ever been to a rap battle? I've been to plenty. I participated. They in your face, saliva. They touching your chest. They saying all of these things. But the thing is, everybody goes home to their families, and at least you came up with something. So listen, man.
Yeah.
What happened is what's supposed to happen. Mm-hmm. And I'm pleased. And the fact that I could shut my big ass mouth and just chill back and watch what's going on, I'm learning for it. Chef ain't cooking because y'all cooking right now, and I'm just eating some of those them nutrients. So I don't got the chef coat on right now. You know what I mean? I'll pop back in, but this is what's supposed to be happening. And if it rubs people the wrong way, perfect.
Listen, I'm gonna keep on saying this to everybody, and then Maricela could go. She has something to say, but I'm gonna keep on saying this to everybody. And I said it to Rico. I said, Rico, let's make a rule. Let's not talk about something unless we know the full context. That's just common sense. That goes for man, woman, Black, white, Latino, Asian. Let's promote talking about a situation when we know we have everything. This is why I had beef with TLA, because he was talking about me and he didn't know about me. That's number one. Number two, let's not show favoritism to people because they're in our garden. The truth is the truth. And I never said it wasn't a valid question, Logic. I never said that wasn't a valid question. I said it was an untimely question. Just like I told Guapo, Logic. I told Guapo, if you have a question for Darrell, why are you doing it on my page? Go to Darrell page, but Darrell blocked him. So he was waiting for a time to get at Darrell. So he used my platform to do it. I never in my life said it wasn't a valid question, Logic. Please get that correct. You are a debate master, so you debate with facts. And the fact is, I said it was an untimely question. So if you want to debate that, you could come on and debate that. because you'll be wrong. I only deal with the truth. It was untimely. The only thing she did that was at least rude to me, she put the thumbs up when she did that. That's the only thing Jen did. But other than that, I see nothing wrong with what she said. Jen speaks loud. Y'all might say she's loud. She talked over her. Jen is from New York. I talk like that sometimes. I'm not here defending Jen. I'm not here bashing Mayette or defending Mayette. I'm just saying it was an untimely. She wanted clarification. Why? Why does she want clarification? To say, hey, this person shouldn't be trusted? All right, cool. Cool. She could do that, but she can't get mad at her Jen defending herself. And y'all can't get mad at me for saying, what was the point of that question in relation to the topic at hand? The topic's right there. You're going to look at it. Black versus Latin woman. What is the issue? Even Hannibal was talking. I say, Hannibal, can you bring it back to the question at hand? We can't go off in tangents like this. We can't be seeking favoritism like this. Your agenda might not be my agenda, but you have the right to express your agenda on this platform and not get mad because I don't agree with your agenda. It wasn't a question of love and peace and understanding. In my opinion, that's what I felt. So with that being said, listen, it's cool. It's great. I got love for everybody in this room, but why I can't tell you. I just didn't feel it. But like I said, I only saw one thing she did that Jen did that was antagonizing. But once again, you can't come at somebody and not expect them to come back at you. If y'all learn anything from me, this whole channel was started because me going back at that network. But I decided to turn lemons into lemonade. I took a negative into a positive. So for you to harp on the negative instead of trying to help this person grow into a positive, to me is corny. I'm not here for this. When Hannibal was here, I said, Hannibal, do me a favor. Let me get the ignorance out and you could turn to intelligence. But when you drop the intelligence so early, it becomes condescending. When you drop intellectual conversation with data and stuff so early, it becomes condescending. You have to walk with people when you talk about the truth. You have to scaffold it. That's why it comes so rudimentary. That's why I begin and Chef ends. Have you noticed that? Since day one, I begin and Chef ends, Alpha and Omega, because we have to get you to that point.
King, can I step in, please?
You can do whatever you want to do.
Hi, everyone. Hi, Jalen, E Black, Chef, Jen. I think right now is a perfect example of what, and I say this because I see my daughter who's half Black getting treated that way when a Latina, and I know that everyone's saying that's how people in New York talk, they're loud, and I get it. I talk to King quite a bit and it gets loud, right? But sometimes when you're on these platforms, I go back to that again, you have to watch your tone of voice. I always say your tone of voice should match your intention. Towards the end there, I agree with King. When you gave her the thumbs up, that was very antagonizing. I know that you may have felt attacked, but I think it was a valid question because on our platform, we do 30 seconds of smoke. I'm not sure if you watch all the time, but we do have those sessions and we're trying to get better and stay on topic. With that said, to stay on this topic, I think that was a perfect example of how Latina women get away with being spicy. And when it's a Black woman raising her voice, it's being looked at, oh, you're getting masculine, you're getting loud, look at you getting so upset, you're so angry.
I actually that was a good segue. That actually was a good point. right? That was actually a good point. The only pushback for you, Maricela, is when we do have smoke sessions, people say it. If Mayat said, listen, no, I'm sorry, I didn't finish. I'm sorry. You go ahead, finish. So I could.
A flower of our garden, especially one like Maya, we know, like, we're a community, we're getting to know each other. We know she's soft-spoken, I'm soft-spoken. I can get loud, but I don't want to be loud. That's not my natural nature. I approach people with patience, with trying to understand. So again, I understand,
Okay.
but there's other people in the chat that did want to know the answer to that question. They also want to know why you use the N-word, Jen, which I would
Right.
like to know why you use the N-word.
So I want, hold on, Jen, let me say one thing. That's still not fair, Maricela. Why is that not fair? She's gonna answer the N-word part because I have a reason why I don't use the word at all, but I know in New York, Puerto Ricans, Dominicans use it casually. That's a New York thing. But since y'all don't respect the whole being from New York as an excuse, cool. But I would say this. When it comes to people, like you said, she needs, if she knew Mayat, then she would know Mayat is soft spoken. We all know that she's a woman, she's a graceful woman. But my question to you, Marcella, did you get a chance to know Jen?
No, and that's why I wanted to preface
So
what I'm saying.
it goes both ways, right? Like she didn't get a chance to know Mayat, and that's what Chef was saying. Read the room, both parties. But she did y'all give a chance to know Jen? Y'all you going off what people say in the chat. You don't know where they're coming from.
Well, to be fair, that's why Maya was asking questions. She
No,
was trying to get to know her.
She asked one question, which was her statement. That's not getting to know someone.
But she could have led on to other questions if she would have been given the opportunity.
No, but she did answer the question immediately. But Mayat kept on going. It's on tape. She said, "This is what I said because I don't like it." But Mayat got triggered. Mayat got triggered because
no, I don't think Maya got triggered.
Mayat got, in my interpretation, is my feelings. People can't tell me my feelings is wrong. I felt Mayat felt a certain way because Jen attacked Tariq and said, "Yo, what did he do for the community?" That's when it went left. I don't know if you remember that.
I remember.
No, I'm saying, Marissa, do you remember? Marcella, do you remember that?
Say that again. You said Mayat left when she said that?
No, I never said that. I said Mayat felt away after she said, "What did Tariq do for the community?"
Right, but at the same time, it goes back to what I mentioned earlier. It's that sense of Black women already don't feel like they're being defended by Black men, and this is what I hear. This is just by groups of friends that I have. And to see it on the platform, you defending Jen, you have to understand that that's already a factor of where my aunt could become.
I defended Jen, or I defended my platform.
You defended both of them, right? You defended both of them, but I'm just overall, if we're going to consider the community, and whoever wants to come up and talk is more than welcome to talk, right? But this Tariq fella, I don't know who this is, but at the end of the day, I think Maya asked a valid question. I think, trying to get to know Jen a little bit better, we can definitely do that, but there is already existing from people in the chat. And again, we try not to get in the chat, but we also are a community. This is something that we do, whether you're in the chat because you can't articulate yourself because of social anxieties, whatever. You don't come on camera. That's fine. We respect that. But if you have the power to come onto camera and ask your questions, like, great. But I think Maya wasn't trying to hurt you or make your character look bad, and I think it was a valid question that she just needed answered for herself.
Can I respond now? She was triggered. Let's be intellectually honest.
No, you can't say that about another woman, what they were feeling. King just said that about himself.
You just said, let me finish because you just opined on my personality and who I am over a chat. So let me finish. So if you're gonna say how King feels and how I feel and then I have to say what I saw, because we all have eyes, right? So in my opinion, she came in triggered. And the reason why I say she came in triggered was because she went off on a tangent about people that infiltrate the Black community, and Black men love Black women, and her husband loves her, and she's never dated a Black man that's dated outside of their race. Those are triggers. That is trauma. That has nothing to do with On the Block with Jen. Not a thing. I just met maybe a couple days ago. But she took it from me. What did you ask, Jen? I mean, what did you say, Jen? Did you say we were whining? And then she went down this path of the Black plight and oppression and Black men, all the Black men she's ever dated, only dated Black men, and the community and people have it, all of which had nothing to do with me. And that is evidence of being triggered. It's no longer on me. It's no longer about what I said. And if you notice, that is what happens. That's like if I say, why are you wearing that green shirt? And you're like, because I like green shirts. And I was like, yeah, but back in the day, 3 years ago, women that wore green shirts infiltrated the Latin community. Every time I see a green shirt, and that's me being triggered. That's why I take it away from your green shirt and I start talking about everything that happened with the green shirts 10 years ago. And that's what Matt did. Not only was it untimely, but it was inaccurate. And I have to go back to what King said, because I am anal about research. And I've been this way since I was a teenager. When someone tells me, oh, I heard that, but I don't care what you heard. Bring her to me. That's how we're going to do this conversation.
And that's the thing that kills me, because most of the data I get is from Maricela. She does her due diligence to bring statistics to our conversation. So this conversation shouldn't be happening as soon as I say, did you see the video and do you know the full context? Once you say no, then we can't have a conversation.
I agree.
So Jen, what is the problem for you for Mayat loving Black people and loving
No, she didn't finish answering the N-word. No, she didn't finish the N-word though. She didn't finish the N-word.
No, I know she can answer the N-word thing in a moment, but why is that a problem? It sounded like you were triggered. I don't want to watch that. I'm sorry.
I mean, yeah. I mean, let's see.
Like, you can't put words in my mouth.
Right.
And you can't throw it, like we say Latinos, I don't know if you're Latina, you can't throw a rock and then hide your hand. You cannot put words in my mouth, because now you're attacking my character. Ma'at came here, misquoted me. It was untimely and inaccurate. She wasn't trying to get to know me. She wanted to know why I said Black people were whining, something I did not say. We're all adults here. And that's why I said before, people claim they know how to communicate, but they do not. I am not asking you about something I see in the chats unless I saw it and heard it myself. And if you're still curious, because there's nothing wrong with asking questions. If you want to ask a question, ask a question. But there's a way to frame the question. Hey, Jen, these people in the chat are saying that you said Black people were whining. Is that true? But you don't come in and say, why did you say that Black people were whining? And that's why I stress
kind of like how I'm asking you, why are people in the chat saying that you use the N-word?
Say again.
Kind of like how I framed the question, that why are people in the chat coming and saying that you use the N-word?
That's valid.
And I will say, Maricela, it's a valid question.
That's a valid question.
With Jen, I did an 1.5-hour video on it. But I'm not going to do that here, because we're not here to talk about Tariq, my war, with the faux war with me and Tariq Nasheed. Mott said he did stuff for the Black community. I questioned it. She got even more triggered. But we're talking about a man that said Black women were ugly on video. That's also on my page. We're talking about a Black man.
Hold on. Can I ask a question?
Hair and light skin was better. This is what we're discussing right now. And
I'm glad you said that, because I didn't know who Tariq was until Chef just texted me about Tariq, and he did say that about Black women. So, but because I haven't seen it, I'm not going to comment on it. But I'm going to research it, and when I research it, I'm going to come and say yes, Jalen.
That's why I said what I said about when you have Black men or women, when they cross over, the insults that they give to their own community gets gaslighted by the community that they are entering. And that is something that if you want to date outside your community, that's fine. But why insult your community because you want to date outside? I don't understand why people do that.
I see where you're coming from.
Hold on. Logic said he didn't say that, bro. That's why I'm not going to talk about it, Logic.
It's on video.
Well, but Jen, I'm not going to talk about it until I go and do research.
And I respect
that's why I'm who I am, Logic. I'm not going to speak on something until I do research. That's all I'm saying. Because other than that, it's emotional.
But I also wanted to say to Maricela, I really respect what she said when she first came on the platform, because there's so much when it comes to all communities, right? But we're breaking open and beating down the barriers and just busting open the Black community. So all these things are coming out. But I agree with Maricela when she says that when you get a Spanish woman who's screaming and yelling and not sitting in her femininity, and you get a white woman who's screaming and yelling and not sitting in her femininity, and the same with an Asian, it's looked at so different than when a Black woman does it.
Yes.
And we feel like we have to have that poise and that grace,
right,
in our femininity all the time when the other women around us are just like
right. But Jalen, I agree with Maricela. That's right. And I said that's a great segue to the conversation. And guess what? That point that Maricela made has everything to do with today's topic. What does the Tyreek thing have to do with it?
I don't know about
that's what I'm trying to say. That's all I'm trying to say. What Maricela brought up that point that has everything to do with today's topic. On that note, listen, I gotta get a drink. Thank you very much for all this. I love Chef and I love E Blackmore. I love all of y'all. Yeah, all could go to hell. I love Jalen. I love Maricela. I love Jen. I love Mayat. And guess what? Mayat didn't scream. She was graceful the whole time, to be honest with you. I love everybody, but at the end of the day, we're all not going to get along. We're all not going to see eye to eye. But I hope tomorrow you come up here and we have this discussion, because there will be a part 2. So now Maricela could bring her Spanish, Latin, Mexican, French. She said don't use the word Hispanic, even though she had it in the stats today. It was in your stats, Maricela. Right, you said don't use that word. Tomorrow you're going to bring your people. I'm going to bring more peoples, and we're going to have this dialogue, because at the end of the day, certain things happen that we need to freaking finish and talk about. It was a great topic, and we're going to come. Jen, if you want to come back, I would love for you to come back. Oh. First of all, I sent you the $2,000 cash app. Did you get it to come today?
No, I didn't.
That's how much she charges.
My cash app must be broken.
It must be.
I don't mind coming back. I don't mind validating people. But the drama and the people want to see conflict. And
well, you know,
like go to my page. Give me some pins and.
No, I just want to say I don't think people want to see conflict. I think people want their valid questions answered. Again, I don't think it's about conflict, Jen. Can I finish? Can I finish? No, I get where you're coming from. Some people may want conflict, but in our community garden, if you've watched most of our shows, we actually get to solutions. We actually try to figure out, okay, can we move together? Can we move forward? Or do we just need to agree to disagree? And that's just what it is. I mean, I understand where you're coming from, because I've had years of experience with Puerto Rican people, and I hear your tone. I know where you're coming from, but as a human being and practicing speaking with other people, sometimes you have to realize, like, bring that tone down to match your intention, because I don't think you mean to be hurtful, but I still want to know the answer to why you use the N-word. So I guess we'll deal with that tomorrow.
No, you could go to my page, because I'm not going to discuss it. So you could go to my page if you're that concerned. Like you need. It's a fire within you, and you have to know why I use the N-word or don't anymore. Why are you so afraid to go to my page? There's an hour and a half video about it. And it's explained in detail. So I don't know why you keep trying to, like, it's kind of like you keep kicking the shit around, the saying that we say. You keep kicking the shit around and it keeps stinking. Go to my page. There's an hour and a half. If you're really concerned and want to get to know me, go to my page. And another thing is that I am not going to conform to what you think is a good tone. Because can you conform to my tone? So I can trust you, so I can feel like you real? Because people that mousy, I can say, I don't believe you. You're trying to play a victim. You know what I mean? I'm not attacking you for your tone. So you can't tell me to fix my tone, and I can't tell you to fix your tone. That's really agreeing to disagree. We are not a monolith. And I'll end there. I'll end there with the infamous, we're not a monolith. I was invited here, bless me.
Yeah, and one thing, like, no absolute, no monolith. That was actually a good point at the end.
I'm like, bless me, why are you here if you don't like my tone? You could scroll off too. So this is what I'm talking about. People like the conflict. She said that nobody wants conflict. There's people in the chat. Expose her.
No. But Jen, all jokes aside, I agree with Maricela, but I don't agree, because I say it all the time. Every time we talk positive stuff, 65 people watching. When it's conflict, 145. So you can't say people don't love conflict. They really do, especially on YouTube.
I have a question.
Okay, last question. We out, because I gotta get a drink, because I'm hurt.
And I don't know, Jen. I don't know you. When I speak, I just try and speak in general, and I don't know you, so I don't want you to feel any type of way about anything. I just speak in general. But the question is, when it comes to certain words that are used in certain people's communities, would it be okay if I just came and called and as another nationality, or do we think this? Like, I don't try to have a personal problem with anything, because the world is the world. But if I came to a Caucasian person and I called them, I don't know if I could say it on YouTube, like a Ritz, would they be insulted? And if I went to a Chinese person and was like, and then I went to a Spanish and was like, would they be insulted as a person?
I don't use the N-word, Jalen.
I mean, not really.
I really don't use the N-word. I never used it. Ask anybody that's been around me, right? But I can't tell somebody else to not use it.
Well, I'm not saying not use it. I'm just trying to,
I don't use that word at all. But my people use that word. I don't think it's a form of endearment at all. People use that as a form of endearment, and I don't think it is.
Well, people say it's a form. It's a form.
I don't think it is, but I can't tell somebody not to use it.
But what I'm saying, like within the culture, something that well, I won't use oppressed. That's a trigger. Something that was meant for your culture to put you down, and everyone has one pretty much inside their culture. So if I walk to a Chinese person or Asian person or Caucasian person or an Indian person, right? We go back to the Indian when because I am Cherokee. And it's like, if someone was to come to me and call me like a redneck or a red sock, or like I didn't write like the red sock because of that whole, I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna give a second look to it. Like, you just call me what I thought you called me. If I call you I don't know if I could say it, but the Ritz,
Right.
or called you something Spanish that was meant to put them down.
Right.
Will we all feel some type of way? And in this day and age, why is it bothering so much when we can walk around and say other words that are which I don't use for myself? But nowadays everybody's that bad bitch, right? I don't call myself that, but I mean, we do that too. So are we choosing which words are going to be, right? I mean, just a question, just food for thought. I just found it interesting.
Mm-hmm. Well, can I get a drink, man? Can we cut this?
Yeah, let me throw this piece out, and then we can shut this thing down. We throw this piece out, and we shut this thing down. There was a lot of conversation about this conversation. There was a lot. We understood. that it was going to create this discourse, was going to create discord, right? Discord, D-I-S-C-O-R-D. That pretty much means chaos. We understood that. But we would be full of shit if we don't allow this conversation to happen, if we talk about solutions. We would be full of shit if we didn't allow this conversation to take place and didn't have solutions. And if we only had people that particularly would agree with one side, then it would be what's considered an echo chamber. It feels ugly to some people. I get it. Revolution, change, solutions, fixing stuff gets ugly. That's what it is. All right. So at the end of the day, I definitely appreciate y'all being in here, and if you were rubbed the wrong way by this conversation, don't take it the wrong way, but that means it was successful. The whole point was for us to actually strike up these conversations, not to stay in this little sandbox here, but for you now to go and have that conversation with your folks and spread the conversation. All right. I know folks may not like who we had up there, and that's okay. She's a part of the garden as well. But remember, nobody else. Remember, nobody else was speaking on that side. I've been in a fight with 7, 8 dudes before, where I was the only one there, and I thought it was about to happen to me. I got loud. I started looking for everything. Okay, I got loud, I got big, and I went at it. So remember,
you're a fucking genius.
This was one individual.
You're a fucking genius. Did you hear what he says? When someone's feeling like they're being attacked by many, what you think is going to happen? No one took that into consideration. It was a whole bunch of people attacking her, and don't let nobody fool. We got emails about her before the show came, and she still came on the show. So you got a whole bunch of people attacking her. What do you, I don't
King,
know.
I was not attacking her.
I never said you.
No, not you,
This is what you do when you personalize it. I said a whole.
No, you.
And I mentioned chat room. I mentioned chat room.
Okay.
Is it?
And
that
full
we weren't attacking her. She literally. They needed the Crip. They needed Crips. They needed Bloods. There was only one Crip showed up, or one Blood showed up.
I was here too, though. I know I came in late, but I showed up.
Well, can I have full transparency? I've seen Jen before. I've seen her have this exact same argument on stage before, on YouTube channels before. I believe that her statements were brought to another audience, and her frustrations with having the same conversation for probably the past year were brought out. I felt like we could have handled it better. But
E Black, guess what? Mm-hmm. She was on Conversations with Queens. And if you go through the live chat, they were saying the same thing about her. Why didn't they bring up the question then? See, that's why I sense a lot of fraud shit and cap going on. Because the same thing we're saying in this chat now, if you go to the Conversations with Queen on Tuesday, they were saying the same thing about Jen. So why y'all asking the question now? That was my whole point.
People couldn't get on camera because there was a lot of complaints of not being able to get on. But regardless, I don't want to talk about her with her not being here.
I'm sorry. You know who's on camera? Mayat was on camera.
Okay, but again, let's not talk about her without her being present, because that's the last thing I want to
talk about. I ain't talk about her. I just said you saying people couldn't get in, and I said the person that was in was Mayat. Nobody's talking about her. This is what happens when you take the conversation to a way where you plead for sympathy instead of dealing with the facts. The facts is people were saying the same thing about her and at your show, and no one said nothing. And yes, I was away. But now on this show, when I want to keep it on the topic at hand, it was asked. Cool, it's all right. It's all right, but don't do that, because then you sound like Chicago Rilla.
Who,
In
me?
my opinion.
You gonna tell me when to go?
No, I'm not. You trying to be funny. There you go. Don't be funny. I don't like you right now. I love you forever, but I don't like you right now. Anyway, I'm out.
Oh, I see what you did there, Marcella. That was dope.
That was funny.
Tell me where to go.
She's trying to make me laugh. That's what she's trying to do, because she always makes me laugh. Anyway, I gotta go. I gotta get a drink, man. Let me get a drink. Man.
All right, y'all. Y'all be easy.
Woo!
Don't forget to share.
Peace and love and all of that good stuff, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Nah, the kitchen was closed. Chef wasn't cooking tonight. This was important conversation to have. It wasn't for me to cook.
Listen, me, I don't like Jen in any way like that. I just felt what I felt. I'm just telling you, at the end of the day, why go off on you ask one question and the other question? That seemed like what Guapo did. Guapo asked a question, and then his second question was a question about a person he wanted to address. It was like a Trojan horse. That's all. But it's okay. Listen, if you think I like them, I like them. Cool. It's okay. It's all right. It's all right. Anyway, Cheryl, I love you, Cheryl.
Cheryl said we can't end the show.
I gotta end the show, Cheryl, because if I don't get a drink, then I gotta get a drink.
Is it Cheryl or Sherelle? I need to know, man. Is it Cheryl or Sherelle? If it's Sherelle, put a 1 in the chat. If it's Cheryl, put a 2 in the chat.
Guess what? We did good tonight. I'll see you tomorrow. Unfortunately, I didn't give me 200 likes, and I'm at 829. Yeah, I'm not gonna reach my goal by tomorrow, but it's okay. This is why. You know what? This is my excuse.
It's Sherelle. She put a 1. It's Sherelle.
No, this is my Sherelle. This is my excuse. I'm gonna take a break for a month. I'll be back, man. Y'all see you later.